Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Friday, March 20th, 2026, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Cleveland Guardians. We are 6 days away from opening day with this particular matchup at T-Mobile, but we are getting down to the nitty-gritty, and I can't wait to be able to see what we're going to be able to get in these next few games in spring training as the opening day is looming closer and closer. We are getting very excited. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. On the left, the best center fielder in the game, it's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. And on the right, one of the best third basemen in the game on the Cleveland Guardians, Jose Ramirez. So let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at third base, Brendan Donovan. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing for Seattle, it's Dominic Canzone. Batting fifth, playing first base, Connor Joe. Batting sixth, playing shortstop for Seattle, Cole Young. Batting seventh, playing right field, Victor Robles. Batting eighth, catching today for Seattle, Andrew Kisner. And batting ninth, playing second base for the Mariners, Leo Rivas. And to start the game off for Seattle, Gabe Mosser. Now let's get into the starting lineups here for the Cleveland Guardians. Leading off for the Guardians in center field, Stephen Kwan. Batting second, playing second base, Brian Rocchio. Batting third, playing third base, Jose Ramirez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing for Cleveland, Chase DeLauder. Batting fifth, playing first base, formerly of the Milwaukee Brewers, now Cleveland Guardian, Rhys Hoskins. Batting sixth, playing shortstop for Cleveland, Gabriel Arias. Batting seventh, playing left field, Angel Martinez. Batting eighth, catching today for the Guardians, Austin Hedges. And batting ninth, playing right field, is C.J. Kafus. And on the mound for the Guardians will be Logan Allen. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Let's go, baby. We are 6 days away from opening day, and it's nice since the World Baseball Classic has ended. Marine being in the building, what's good? So, again, this is on the MLB app, and it is available to be able to watch along with me. And, again, the next 2 games after this will be televised as well. So we should be able to be live here today, tomorrow, and then I'm not sure on Monday or Tuesday. We'll kind of take a peek to see what the schedule is like. But opening day is just right around the corner. We're less than a week away, and I'm definitely very excited to see how this one will all play out.
Why are homeowners so stressed? breakdowns are expensive.
Okay, making sure I got all my screens set up here. And we got Brendan Donovan in the box. And I don't think I've been this excited for a leadoff hitter for the Seattle Mariners since Ichiro. So it should be a very exciting game here. First pitch. In there for a strike to Brendan Donovan with the sinker. 0-1 count. Logan Allen on the mound. Brendan Donovan in the box. 0-1 pitch. High and inside with the sinker. 1 ball and 1 strike from Allen to Donovan. And they've had to move some of these games to the evening because they have a heat wave in Arizona in triple digits. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. And that's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike to Brendan Donovan. Sinkers all around here for Logan Allen in his first 3 pitches. 2-1 pitch, high and inside. Great eye by Donovan, and that's what I'm really excited to be able to see as we get into the 2026 regular season. 88-mile-an-hour sinker, and that's kind of been the theme so far. 4 pitches, 4 sinkers, 3-1 pitch, and that is a 5-pitch walk. Beautiful eye by Brendan Donovan. He's going to force walks. He's got the power to hit home runs, as being the initial first batter in the lineup, and he can get on base, for guys like Cal and Julio and Naylor and Randy to knock him in. It's going to be so exciting to see, that progress as we get into the regular season. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder stud Julio Rodriguez. First pitch to Julio with the sinker. In there for a strike, low and away, 0-1 count. 90-mile-an-hour sinker there by Logan Allen. Come on, Julio. 0-1 pitch, Julio crushes it into center field, and a nice blooper there. We'll take that. Nice job, Julio, my man. The best center fielder in the game, getting a hit in his first at-bat. I love it, and hopefully he'll be able to carry that over to the beginning of the regular season. Next up in the 3-hole today, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And the only thing I want from Randy is hustle for ground balls in left field and hustle to first base, no matter if it looks like you're out or not. If he does that, I know every Mariner fan will be happy. The numbers will come. First pitch, low and inside, almost hits Randy in the knee with a cutter. 1-0 count. Runners at first and second with no outs. Great opportunity here for Seattle. 1-0 pitch, low and away with the sweeper. Did he go around? No, he did not. 2 balls and no strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. 2-0 pitch from Allen. Right down the middle with the sinker. 89 miles an hour right down the middle to Randy. 2 balls and 1 strike with runners at first and second and no outs. Top of the first inning, we're knotted up at 0, but the Mariners are threatening early. 2-1 pitch, low and at the knees. Allen having a hard time hitting that strike zone. Almost hits him in the knee again with that cutter. 86 miles an hour, 3 balls and 1 strike with runners at first and second and no outs. Take the walk, Randy. 3-1 pitch, in there for a strike. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Jacob in the building. What's good? 3-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. And I'm kind of shocked that Randy didn't take a swing, but again, was probably thinking it was going to be inside for a walk, and that's the first out for Randy Arozarena. Great pitch there by Logan Allen after struggling early. Next up in the cleanup spot, DHing today, Dominic Canzone. We're looking for a breakout year here for Dom. Could be the everyday DH for us if that's what they want. First pitch with a cutter, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Come on, Dom. 1-0 pitch from Allen. And a hard hit ball towards first base. Double play attempt, throw to first, and nothing is there. They'll take the force out at second. And that is 2 away. Now we got runners on the corners with 2 outs. Next up is first baseman Connor Joe. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. First pitch in there to Connor Joe for a strike, 0-1 count. Four-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour by Logan Allen. Global broadcast there on MLB.tv on the MLB app. Big swing and a miss by Connor Joe. Beautiful four-seam fastball there by Logan Allen and the Guardians. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and third and 2 outs. Come on, Connor. Get a nice little base knock up the middle. See if we can get an RBI here. You want to take advantage of every opportunity, no matter if it's spring training or not. 0-2 pitch. High and away. Good eye there by Connor Joe. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Allen to Joe. And we're only 6 days away from this matchup being the first regular season game at T-Mobile between the Guardians and the Mariners on the 26th. So, I mean, we're only a few days away. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss and a big punch out there by Logan Allen. And we leave 2 stranded. And let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for the Guardians. Next up for the Guardians, leading off, playing center field today, Steven Kwan. Batting second, playing second base, Brian Rocchio. And batting third, one of the best third basemen in the game, if not the best, third baseman Jose Ramirez. On the mound for the Mariners today, Gabe Mosser. And they made the announcement that we are going to go with Logan Gilbert as our starting pitcher, which is a little, I don't want to say odd, because obviously if Brian Wu was healthy, you would assume that he would have been the one. He's earned that top spot. But again, they go with Logan Allen for the second year in a row. I mean, they kind of did that with Luis Castillo for a few years. And again, I hope Logan is ready to go. We're definitely excited for the opportunity for Logan Gilbert. But, if it was me, and as long as Brian Wu is 100% healthy, I would have rather had him go in the season opener. But again, if they want to start with Logan Gilbert as the one in the rotation, I'm okay with it as long as he can stay healthy and pitch a good game. And again, we're loaded, right? We got Logan Gilbert. We got George Kirby. We got Brian Wu. They've all made all-star games. And then you got Bryce Miller, who's kind of tending to an injury, and Luis Castillo kind of on the outside looking in, kind of getting towards the end of his career, a little shaky. And again, we did see a little bit of Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan in the Futures game. Sloan looks like, by next year, if he doesn't come up this year, he might end up being the best pitching prospect in the minors. And again, he looks very, very solid, hitting his spots, top end speed. And it's exciting that we got 2 guys that potentially could be starters. And you never know, they might end up taking Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo's spot at some point or another. First pitch from Mosser to Kwan, four-seam fastball, 89 miles an hour, high and inside, 1-0 count. Now, obviously, it's not going to be right away, for Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan, but if you've been watching them, they look fantastic. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike to Kwan. 1 ball and 1 strike from Mosser to Kwan. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Guardians. 1-1 pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Mosser to Kwan. Going with the four-seam fastball, the sweeper, and the cutter. It's definitely mixing it up here early. 1-2 pitch. Low and away to Steven Kwan. Good eye there by Steven. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Mosser on the mound. Steven Kwan in the box. Kwan on a 2-2 pitch, hits it into shallow left field. Randy Arozarena is there, and that is 1 away. Thankfully, that wasn't a ground ball. Otherwise, that would have been a double or triple. Nice job there by Kwan, getting out there by Randy Arozarena. Next up for the Cleveland Guardians, in the 2-hole, second baseman Brian Rocchio. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Rocchio shows bunt. Takes a ball with the cutter, high and away, 1-0 count. .313 average, 1 homer and 4 ribbies in 13 spring games for Rocchio. Cutter 89 miles an hour missing. 1-0 pitch, slider, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Mosser to Rocchio. 86 subs away from 23,500. We're making some ground. 2-0 pitch, hard hit ball into right field. And that's going to be a single for Brian Rocchio. Nice job there by Brian. As we see Victor Robles throw that into the infield. Next up in the 3-hole, one of the best third basemen in this generation, Jose Ramirez. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Guardians. First pitch, high and away from Mosser to Jose Ramirez. Sweeper, 79 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch from Mosser. Big swing and a miss by Ramirez. Slider, 84 miles an hour there by Mosser. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jose Ramirez. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 here early with a runner at first, Brian Rocchio, and 1 out. 1-1 pitch, high and inside with the sweeper missing. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Sweeper, 79 miles an hour inside there by Mosser. 2-1 pitch, high and away with that sinker. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jose Ramirez. Mosser on the mound. Jose Ramirez in the box. Three-one pitch. And a hard hit ball. No. Big swing and a miss there by Ramirez. He thought he was going to hit a homer on that one. Cutter, beautiful pitch, high and away to Jose Ramirez. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. He gave the pose after that swing like it was gone, and then looked back and saw that it was in the catcher's mitt. Nice pitch by Mosser. 3-2 pitch, throw to first to try to keep Rocchio honest. To Connor Joe, he is safe. Let's go, Mosser. And Ramirez crushes that one deep into center field. And that is gone. Jose Ramirez doing Jose Ramirez things. And that is a 2-run blast into the outfield. 2-run home run, Jose Ramirez. Hopefully that'll be the only home run that Mosser gives up. Next up for the Guardians in the 4-hole, DHing Chase DeLauder. And again, if you're going to pitch Jose Ramirez right down the middle, just like any good player, whether it be Julio Rodriguez or Cal Raleigh or any of the guys that we have that can hit homers as well, you definitely have to be cautious. And Ramirez burnt him there. Big homer by Jose. 2-0 Guardians. Next up in the 4-hole is Chase DeLauder. One-0 pitch to DeLauder, little blooper. And Cole Young with the good defense there, and that is 2 away. Next up, the former Milwaukee Brewer playing first base for the Guardians, Rhys Hoskins. First pitch, high and away with the sinker to Rhys Hoskins, 1-0 count. Bottom of the first inning, 2-0 Guardians with a Jose Ramirez 2-run blast with Brian Rocchio on board just moments ago. 1-0 pitch, hard hit ball. Shallow left field, into the third base, throw to first, and got him. Nice job there by Brendan Donovan. At third base, throw to Connor Joe, and that is out number 3, but not after the damage was done by Jose Ramirez. And Elijah is coming through big, and I appreciate that. I was kind of praying, that people would step up and be able to help me out. My pup, has to be able to go see the vet, and it's over a $400 bill. Things have been a little light, since we've been waiting for the regular season for Mariner baseball. So February and March have been pretty challenging for me, if I'm being honest. And Elijah coming up big with a $60 dono. Thank you so much. And he says, best Mariners caller. And I take a lot of pride in that, to be the best on YouTube, and again, it means everything. Thank you so much for your love and support to the channel. I guess my prayers were answered so far here early in the broadcast. Thank you so much, man. It really does mean everything. Shout out to Elijah, $60 dono for being the best Mariner play caller on YouTube on planet Earth. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. And, there's been people that have watched a lot of the spring training games that we've done. There's been people that are just kind of waiting, for the regular season to start watching the channel again and, doing the regular thing, liking, subbing, sharing, donating, whatever the regular routine is for those individuals. And thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you know. And again, I have been a little worried. I was thinking, man, am I going to have to start selling some of my like Julio graded auto rookies and things of that nature, like my Mariner memorabilia or some of the, sports collectibles that I have, just to make sure that I stay afloat. And thank you so much. I appreciate you. First pitch from Logan Allen to Cole Young, takes a strike looking with a cutter, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, sweeper right down the middle, and that is an 0-2 count there to Cole Young. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees into the dirt to Cole Young. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Allen to Young. Logan Allen on the mound, Cole Young in the box. Top of the second inning, 2-0 Guardians. 1-2 pitch, outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. 2-2 pitch, hard hit ball, deep right field. It's going, and it is gone. Unbelievable. Cole Young says, hey, Jose Ramirez, you're not the only guy that can homer today. Beautiful. And we've seen Colt Emerson and Cole Young play fantastic in spring. And way to bring the electricity. Cole Young, solo dinger deep into right field. And just like that, we have a 2-1 ball game. You the man, Cole. Let's go. Had to make sure I grabbed the trident. We're ready to go. Next up is Victor Robles, hitting it deep into right field, but a routine play. And that is 1 away. Let's go, baby. Griffey loves it. Next up, backup catcher fighting for a spot with Mitch Garver for the number 2 behind Cal Raleigh, Andrew Kisner. And Kisner almost gets hit in the high shoulder there inside. Had to flinch a little bit. 89 mile an hour four-seam fastball there by Logan Allen. 1-0 count. Vapor, I appreciate you. Man, you have no idea how much that really does mean because, like I said, it's been really, really hard and tough. I probably had the most challenging February and March that I've had in recent years. So, and a nice dribbler there by Kisner to third. They can't control it, Jose Ramirez, and that's a nice single. But again, being able to have to pay over $400, for a vet bill, which I have to do usually like once a year, for the checkup with my pup. And then just the regular, just internet bill, streaming fee, just the basic stuff. I don't need to be rich. I just need to be able to stay afloat and, continue to do my dream. And, the harder that I work, down the road, we'll have more people that will be willing to support. And then I'll be in a better situation, especially when the regular season starts. But Vapor, you have no idea how much that means, and hopefully we'll be able to get a few other people to show that same type of love and respect for all the hard work, that is being done on this channel on the daily. First pitch in there to Leo Rivas, takes a strike looking with the changeup, 0-1 count. Runner at first with one out, Allen on the mound, Leo Rivas in the box. Takes a strike looking with the cutter, 86 miles an hour by Logan Allen. No balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. I appreciate that, man. You have no idea. And also for the people that do the Cash App and they do the Venmo, I'll be able to get, 99% of that. The donations that we get through the Super Chat, I appreciate those just as much, but they take a higher percentage out of those, about 30, 35%. And then I don't even get to see that until the following month. So if I have something that needs to be taken care of now, obviously going with the Cash App and the Venmo definitely helps me immediately. So I thank you for that. And a hard hit little dribbler up the middle into center field there by Leo Rivas. Man, the Mariners are hot here tonight. I mean, for being almost triple digits there in Arizona, again, I'm glad that we're competing. 2-run blast with Jose Ramirez, Cole Young with a solo dinger, and now we're starting to get things going here with Kisner and Leo Rivas. Next up, back at the top of the order, third baseman that took a walk in his first at-bat, Brendan Donovan. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Top of the second inning, 2-1 Guardians. Allen on the mound, Donovan in the box. And again, I don't think I've been this excited for a leadoff hitter for the Mariners since Ichiro. We did get some good, leadoff hitting at times from Randy, Victor Robles, and JP Crawford. But I definitely feel that Donovan, could be the best one since Ichiro, and that's really saying something. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the sweeper, and that gets away from the catcher there momentarily. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Top of the second inning, Guardians up by 1, but the Mariners are threatening again. 1-2 pitch, and that one is a foul tip there by Brendan Donovan. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Shout out to Vapor, the MVP, man. Thank you so much. 1-2 pitch, and that's hit out of play. And we are going to be doing 161 out of 162 games. The only game that I won't be able to do on the channel will be the game that I go to once a year, and that'll be on the 4th of July. So I'm going to be grinding, including 161 and playoffs. We assume we're going to make a deep run this year. Donovan with a hard hit ball into center field. It's going back close to the wall. Come home, baby. Let's go. And that's going to bring in some runs. Let's go, baby. And both runs come in. That is a 2-run RBI double by Brendan Donovan. Get used to seeing that on every single day the Mariners are on, TV or not. 3-2 Seattle. Let's go. It's exactly what I want to see. Yeah, baby. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. And again, I had a feeling that this game was going to be electric, from the very start. And again, if you have the MLB app, you just open it up and this game is free. And again, they are showing about half of the spring training games. So pretty much any game that is televised, I'm going to, do. And again, I think we'll be able to do Saturday and Sunday here on the channel. So we should be able to do games for the next 3 nights. Monday and Tuesday we'll have off. Wednesday, I'll probably end up doing the Yankees and Giants because that's opening day and the only game. And then obviously the game that everyone's waiting for is Thursday between this very matchup, the Guardians and the Mariners at T-Mobile on opening day. And we get to see our 2025 AL West champion banner being, shown for the very first time. Saw some videos and some pictures, obviously on a vehicle in the streets of Seattle, and definitely excited. The crowd will be electric. First pitch to Julio Rodriguez, fouls it off with a cutter, high and inside. Allen tries to jam Julio and does. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away by Logan Allen. 1 ball and 1 strike after that changeup misses to Julio Rodriguez, the best center fielder in the game. And just imagine if he gets off to a good start in the first half of the season, he could end up being, not just a top 7 MVP guy like he has been the last few years, but he could end up being a top 3 MVP guy like Cal Raleigh last year. He's a guy that could be a 40-40 guy or a 50-50 guy, 40 home runs, 40 stolen bags, 50 home runs, 50 stolen bags at some point in his career before it's over. 1-2 pitch, high and away. Nice check swing there by Julio. And again, it seems like the patience is getting better, for him based on WBC games that I've watched and some of these games that I've seen here in spring training with Julio here in 2026. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. But again, I really think adding Brendan Donovan is going to make Cal and Julio, not only that, Naylor and Randy, that much better of hitters, knowing that they have a guy as Julio ends up taking a walk. I mean, when's the last time you've seen Julio, take a walk? It's been a minute, and again, I'm definitely starting to see the growth. And sometimes, you have to wait until year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8, year 9 before a guy hits their prime if they play 15 to 20 years. And again, the first few years for Julio were great, but they could have been better. He hasn't really been able to get off to a good start in the first half of a season yet. And that's kind of crazy, for the best center fielder in the game. And again, Logan Allen's night is done, and they got Randy Arozarena there walking up to the box. 0 for 1 with a K for Randy. But again, I feel that, when we had JP and then we ended up bringing in Victor Robles, which was better than JP, and then Victor got hurt, I think that definitely messed up the rhythm for leadoff hitting. We couldn't really count on JP or Victor or Randy to get a hit. It kind of felt like we were praying that those guys would be able to get a hit. And I think that Victor, when he was healthy before he went into the wall and the netting and he got injured in San Francisco and was out for a majority of the year, I thought that he was much better than JP and much better than Randy, but it got cut short. And now we finally get a guy that's got power to hit a home run, the smarts to take a walk, and also the skill to be able to get singles, doubles, and triples as the leadoff guy and a good defender. You got to remember, he won Rookie of the Year in the National League the same year that Julio did in the American, and he was an all-star for the Cardinals last year. So he's going to be a huge piece, probably the most influential piece from last year to this year that we didn't have. And we got Tyler Thornton warming up here on the mound for the Guardians, but I do feel that we're going to score more runs and we're going to be more productive with Brendan Donovan as a leadoff hitter. He is an amazing player, and again, we're going to miss Polo. We're going to miss him on the Mets. He wanted to be closer to his dad. We're going to miss Gino going back to the Reds for the second time. But I think if it was me, I would rather have Donovan than those 2 players. And then you have to assume someone can step up like Canzone to kind of make up the difference. And again, we will be buyers at the deadline. There's no doubt about that. Every year moving forward, we're going to be able to pick up another guy just like Gino. Hell, it might be Gino again. You never know, depending on how good or bad the Reds are and if they want to move him, at the deadline. So again, I know we're going to be buyers. I know we're getting closer, to being, the only team that hasn't been to a World Series. But the goal is not necessarily just to make the World Series. We want to win it. And we know that the Dodgers, the Mariners, and the Blue Jays are probably the most excited out of the 3 teams to start the year. Dodgers are trying to go back to back to back. And the Blue Jays and Mariners are trying to get to the World Series and beat them. Kind of a David and Goliath, and the Blue Jays almost did it, in Game 7, but it went to extras. But again, it definitely feels like the American League is definitely closing the gap, and the Blue Jays play the Mariners on the 4th of July, and I can't wait to be able to see Toronto firsthand. 3-2 game here. Thornton on the mound to Arozarena, low and away, 1-0 count. And I just want to see Randy play some good defense with ground balls in left field. And I want to be able to see him hustle the first base. And I know some of those things seem like elementary, but it's really surprising to see how many pros kind of get lazy, and kind of pick and choose when they want to play. And Randy gets beamed in the back. And now we have bases loaded with 1 out. And we know Randy, definitely gets hit by a lot of pitches. But I get that. But again, I don't want you to be lazy. Show some effort, Randy. It does go a long ways to the Seattle fans. We notice everything. Next up in the cleanup spot here today, DHing Dominic Canzone. Absolutely, Vapor. And again, if I do decide to start selling off some of my incredibly rare Seattle Mariner memorabilia, I'll be able to leave my eBay link or my, username. So if anyone wants to be able to look, to be able to see the, items that I will be posting on there if needed. I don't really want to, but again, things have been, a little tight. And again, certain things need to be paid, and I need to be able to look out for my pup and, my situation. But, I got graded Julio, autographed, graded rookies, Cal Raleigh, Brian Wu, autographed photos of Ichiro, Ken Griffey Jr., so again, we'll see what I decide to, possibly let go. I got a lot of action figures as well, so I'll keep you guys posted. 1-0 pitch to Dominic Canzone, and Canzone crushes it deep into right field, and that baseball is out of here. Wow. Unbelievable. Almost leaves the stadium. Oh my goodness, Dominic Canzone, can you believe it? And just like that, it's 7-2 Mariners. Canzone homers to right, Donovan scores as well as others, and just like that. And you best believe Vapor's Dono has a big part of what's going on here tonight. I'm telling you, the more support that we get, the best things happen on the channel. The more people that they support with the comments and the likes and the shares and the donos, it seems like the donos bring out the magic in the Mariners. And just like that, 7 runs in the second inning. Are you kidding me? Incoming Dominic Canzone breakout season. And again, we usually have, bigger, players, the Mike Fords, the Carlos Santanas, the Jared Vogelbacks. This will be the, one of the few times that we might have a smaller player at DH. But again, I think Dominic Canzone can play that role if we already have Victor Robles in right field. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking with that sinker to Connor Joe. 1 ball and 1 strike from Thornton to Joe. Unbelievable. Grand salami. Get the mustard and rye bread, baby. And like I said, I had a feeling that these next few games before the season opener were going to be spicy. People are ready to be able to get the regular season started, and these games are going to be crucial to see how guys look, to see if we're going to be able to get off to a fast start against the Guardians on Thursday. Pitch fouled off behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Thornton to Joe. Let's go, baby. Unbelievable. I mean, when's the last time the Mariners had 7, in spring training or in the regular season? It's been a minute, especially this early in the matchup. I love it. And it's not like the Guardians are playing all backups. They got Ramirez and Kwan and a lot of their starters playing. So it's not like we're playing, a single A, equivalent. We're playing, starters for starters. I would say about 70 to 80% of the starting lineup for both. There's still a few key pieces missing, like obviously Connor Joe, in for Naylor, and obviously Kisner in for Cal. But that makes it that more impressive. 3-2 pitch from Thornton. High and away, and another walk there by Thornton, and Joe goes to first. Nice job by Connor Joe by not getting, baited and swinging at something nasty. Next up, 1 for 1 with a run and an RBI. Already has a solo dinger. It is Cole Young. Way to bring the electricity, Cole. And Ramirez got a 2-run blast. Cole Young obviously homered to right to get the party started, and they're back to him already in the same inning. When you go back through the order once and you're going and pitching to the guy that started it off with a home run, and the other team has only been able to get 1 out. Things are looking good for Seattle. Trident's up. 5 home runs in 17 spring games for Cole Young. Insane. First pitch right down the middle with a sinker to Cole Young. 0-1 count. Come on, Cole. Throw to first, and it's wild. Go, baby, go. And there we go. It goes all the way close to right field, and Connor Joe, with great awareness, goes from first to second, and that wild throw from Thornton to try to keep Young honest, and sometimes that happens. You know, these pitchers get a little too excited. They make a shitty throw to the first baseman, right? And then if you've got good awareness and a good jump, you know, you can end up stealing a bag, and great job there by Joe. Pickoff error by Thornton. 0-1 pitch with the sinker high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. And out of all the spring training games that I've watched, is pretty much all of them, besides, you know, the ones that haven't been televised, this is probably the best start that we've had to a game, and it's, you know, perfect timing with less than a week, you know, playing this team in the season opener. Pitches high and away. Sinker missing, 91 miles an hour there by Thornton. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at second and 1 out. 7-2 Mariners. And we had Cole Young with a solo dinger, and we've already seen a grand salami by Canzone as well. Unbelievable. 2-1 pitch, low and at the knees with a sinker, 93 miles an hour there by Thornton. 3 balls and 1 strike to Cole Young. And it's crazy. Cole Young started the inning and obviously got the party started with the solo dinger. And they've only gotten 1 out. And we've been able to go through the whole order. So obviously things have been getting pretty shaky here for Cleveland. 3-1 pitch. And Young fouls that one off. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. You the man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Trident's up, man. Three-two pitch. And that is low and at the knees, and that'll be a walk to Cole Young. Next up in the 7-hole, right fielder Victor Robles. And again, when we had a lot of our stars and, you know, solid, good players playing in the WBC, we were getting absolutely manhandled. We just didn't have enough talent. You know, I think Colt Emerson and Cole Young did well. Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan as project pitchers came in and did well in the time that they had, you know, but again, we were missing, you know, 90% of our guys, and hard to win games, you know, when you have most of those guys gone. But after Venezuela beat Team USA, everyone is back, and I can't wait to be able to get to the regular season, but I'm excited about this game and the next few before we get there. 1-0 pitch to Victor Robles, takes a strike in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike to Victor Robles. Back-to-back sinkers here by Thornton. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 1 out. 1-1 pitch. And Robles with a hard hit ball into center field. All the way back. See ya! Are you kidding me? Victor Robles, 3-run homer, 10-2 Mariners. Are you kidding me? Let's go! Incredible. This is the best start to a game that I've seen in a long time. And even going back to the regular season and the playoffs last year, I don't remember us getting 10 by the second inning ever. You know, so again, I get it. It's spring training. But remember, we're playing this team in 6 days at T-Mobile. So anytime you can kind of play a little bit of mind games, you know, with your opponent, and you end up going through the order, they're going to be on their third pitcher. This is exactly what you want to be able to see out of the Seattle Mariners after the WBC concluded. You're getting everyone locked and loaded, and it's not just the power guys, you know, like Julio Rodriguez. I mean, you're going all up and down the order, and unbelievable performance here today. Cole Young started it with a homer. Donovan doubled the center. Rivas and Kisner scored. Dominic Canzone had a grand salami with Donovan, Julio, and Arosarena on board. And now Victor Robles with Connor Joe and Cole Young on board with a 3-run blast. Solo dinger, grand salami, 3-run blast. I don't remember ever us getting 3 home runs to this magnitude in a long time. 10-2 Mariners. Let's go, baby. Unbelievable. And let's see if Kisner can make it happen. They're going to challenge this one. First one was a slider, high and away, 1-0 count. We're at 60 on the Dono train because Vapor is the MVP. 40 to go to hit the goal here tonight. And we're going to try to do our best to get to that 50 to 100 like number. And we will be live today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Monday and Tuesday will be off. Wednesday, we'll be doing Yankees and Giants because that's opening day. No one else is playing. And then we'll end up doing the Mariners every day moving forward that they have a game starting Thursday, opening day, Guardians and Mariners. And right now, we're showing them who we are, 10-2 Seattle. 1-1 pitch. Right down the middle with a 4-seam fastball. 92 miles an hour there by Thornton. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Andrew Kisner. And again, Kisner in the box. Thornton on the mound. And I think the sports gods, they saw the generosity of Vapor. And they said, you know what? We're going to make sure this is going to be a memorable game. And sports gods delivered. Unbelievable. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Foul tip goes into the glove. And finally, the Guardians get their second out after we've already gone through the order once. Next up is Leo Rivas. 1 for 1 with a run so far. Let's go, Leo. And the starting lineup is, pretty accurate, to what you would be able to see minus, Connor Joe is coming in for Josh Naylor, and obviously Kisner is in for Cal. But for the rest of the lineup, it is a starting lineup, And again, if, J.P. Crawford isn't ready, again, Leo Rivas could end up, playing that spot. And we also have Cole Young and Colt Emerson, that can move and, play multiple positions as well. First pitch to Rivas, fouls it off, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. One pitch to Rivas. Pitch is in there inside for a strike. Sinker, 91 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Mariners hitting you with fucking a 10 spot in the second inning. Unbelievable. I love this. 1-2 pitch. And that one is fouled off, out of play by Rivas. Sinker, 93 miles an hour there by Thornton. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Solo dinger by Cole Young. Grand salami by Dominic Canzone. 3-run blast by Victor Robles, all in this second inning. Are you kidding me? Trident's up. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Leo Rivas. And then finally, the Guardians, after 20 plus minutes, finally get out of the top of the second inning. But not after the damage is done. Cole Young, solo dinger. Dominic Canzone, grand salami. Victor Robles, 3-run blast. And like that, 10-2 Mariners. Let's go. Let's see who's up next here for the Guardians in the bottom of the second. They probably are thinking, hell, we need to wave the white flag. Next up for the Guardians, in the 6th hole, shortstop, Gabriel Arias. Batting second in the 7 hole, left fielder, Angel Martinez. And batting third in the 8 hole, catching today for Cleveland. Even he has the look of surprise, Austin Hedges. And on the mound, I assume will still be Gabe Mosser. And once we get an update on another individual, we will let you know. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that Dono train. We're at 60 because of Vapor, 40 to go. What generosity. And again, it's almost like a blessing. I've been praying pretty hard. It's been really hard and tough, in February, and a little bit of March here. And again, once you go into February, you got the Super Bowl, but then after that, you don't really have a whole lot to do. There was no ability to do Kraken games since we had the Olympics. So it was pretty much NBA. And, again, when you do something that you normally don't do all the time, it's kind of hard. I was still able to get, thousands of views, but the support with the subs and the donos were a lot lighter than I would like. And then now, obviously, we're in March. You got spring training ball, a little bit of the World Baseball Classic for 2 weeks. That really helped. We gained a hell of a lot of views and a lot of subs there. But my love and passion, obviously, is the Seattle Mariners, and I can't wait for the regular season to start. But this game has been magical, to say the least. First pitch there from Gabe Mosser to Arias, in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away with that sweeper. 1 ball and 1 strike to Arias. 1-1 pitch and a hard hit ball into right field, and Victor Robles scoops it up, and a nice single there by Arias. What's good, brother? And nice job there by Gabriel Arias to get a single. So obviously they're trying to battle. Next up in the 7th hole, left fielder Angel Martinez. And we've already known that Logan Gilbert got the nod. That is going to be the starting pitcher on opening day. I was actually kind of rooting for Wu, if he was healthy, to be the guy, because I think at this point everyone can agree Wu is our 1. Gilbert can be 2, Kirby 3, Miller 4, and Castillo 5. But again, Castillo was the opening day starter for a few years, and now they're going to do the same thing with Gilbert for 2 years in a row. But hopefully Wu is healthy. And again, if we would have had a healthy Wu at the end of the year, I think we would have made the World Series. There's no doubt about it. And who knows? We might have been able to pull off the miracle and even beat the Dodgers with Wu healthy. 2-0 pitch, and he ropes it deep into right field, and it is out of there. Wow, that one almost left the stadium. It's on the roof. Unbelievable. I mean, we're getting all kinds of home runs in this heat in Arizona. And just like that, 10-2 goes to 10-4. Angel Martinez with a 2-run blast. And this is a crazy game. I mean, obviously the wind is blowing outward, if there is any wind. We do know that they have triple-digit temperatures that have been there in Arizona. But again, the ball flies a lot more, here in Arizona than it does in Peoria. And unbelievable. What a big 2-run blast there. First pitch to Austin Hedges, and he's smiling after that big 2-run blast. He loves it. And that's outside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, popped up and out of play. And you definitely hear a different type of echo to the bat in these at-bats, in this game. Normally when you hear that loud crunch and thud of the bat, oh, it's Aaron Judge. Oh, it's Cal Raleigh. It's one of those guys. Oh, that's Kyle Schwarber. But you're hitting, a lot of big, deep knocks, from these hitters early on, and a little unusual. I'm not really used to hearing, that type of power here. But again, we are less than a week away, and we are going to be playing this very same team at home at T-Mobile. And again, hopefully we don't give up too many more homers, but a very entertaining game so far. 10-4 Mariners. 1-2 pitch, low and away with a sweeper by Mosser. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Austin Hedges. Two pitch, high and inside with a sinker, 91 miles an hour there by Mosser. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Austin Hedges. 3-2 pitch, and that is outside, and that is a walk. They're fine. Obviously they tried to make it into something to break up, the love and the chemistry and whatnot. Again, if you got pine tar on your hands and, you shake the catcher's hand, and then the ump checks Cal, he could get kicked out and whatnot. So, I mean, he could have, hit him with an elbow or whatnot, but he told Randy, don't do it. And Randy did it anyways, So if anything, it's on Randy for causing the drama and, kind of playing it out and trolling the media. But everything is fine between Randy and Cal. First pitch to Kafus, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch with that knuckleball, and that one goes almost over his head. Great job there to be able to recover by Kisner. 1 ball and 1 strike from Mosser to Kafus. CJ Kafus in the box. Big swing and a miss there from Kafus. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Mosser to Kafus. Man, what an electric game here. I don't know if I've seen a game like this in spring training, all in this 2026 period. 14 runs in the first 2 innings. Unbelievable. Pitches low and at the knees with that slider by Mosser. 2 balls and 2 strikes to CJ Kafus. But I think this is something that we were due. We were getting our ass kicked, for a while with all our guys in the WBC. So it's about time that we start kicking ass and start taking names with less than a week from the opening day between the Guardians and the Mariners. 2-2 pitch, fouled off low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to CJ Kafus. Two pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball missing. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to CJ Kafus. 3-2 pitch, popped up. And Randy goes back to the warning track, and that is caught, and that is 1 away. And I don't think we need to really worry about Randy with pop-ups. It's only ground balls that come to his area. That's when the laziness comes out. Next up, leadoff hitter 0 for 1, center fielder Stephen Kwan. First pitch to Kwan, crushes it out of play. 0-1 count. Sinker 91 miles an hour there by Gabe Mosser. Bottom of the second inning, 10-4 Mariners. And we've seen how many home runs in this game? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 home runs in this game already. 3 by the Mariners, 2 by the Guardians. 0-1 pitch, in there for a strike with that sweeper. Good pitch there by Gabe Mosser. High and away, painting the corner beautifully. Sweeper 79 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes to Stephen Kwan. 0-2 pitch, high and away with that sinker. 89 miles an hour by Mosser. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Stephen Kwan. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. 1-2 pitch, Kwan. Hard hit ball into center field. And Julio calls off Victor Robles and gets the catch. And that is 2 away. Nice job there by the no-fly zone in Julio Rodriguez. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Julio, I see you, my guy. Next up, in the 2-hole, Brian Rocchio. First pitch, hard hit ball towards that first base line with that slider. 85 miles an hour by Mosser. 0-1 count. Bottom of the second inning, runner at first with 2 outs. Mariners up 10-4 with 5 home runs combined. 3 by the Mariners. Solo dinger by Cole Young. Grand salami by Dominic Canzone. And a 3-run blast by Victor Robles. Beautiful. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away with the sweeper, 79 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike to Brian Rocchio. 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball, deep to left field, and Randy Arozarena is there, and that is the end of the second inning. And again, it's wild. We're an hour into the game, but we've only finished 2 innings because of all the hits and the runs. This is wild. 10 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and it's only been the first 2 innings for the Mariners. 4 runs, 4 hits, and an error for the Guardians. But I'll get you tapped in here in a moment to give you an update. And let's see who's up next for the Mariners in the top of the third. So if you are just tuning into the broadcast, this is how it started. Jose Ramirez homering to right center with Rocchio on board, 2-0 Cleveland. And then the Mariners decided to go to a party. Cole Young, solo dinger, 376 feet, 2-1 Guardians. Then Brandon Donovan ended up getting a double to center, scoring Rivas and Kisner. That ended up making it 3-2 Mariners. Then Dominic Canzone comes up. He gets a grand salami with Donovan, Rodriguez, and Arosarena on board. 7-2 Mariners. And then Victor Robles says, hey, I want to join the home run party. He gets a deep left center, 380 feet homer with Joe and Young on board. 10-2 Mariners. And then we just saw Angel Martinez homering to right a few moments ago with obviously Gabriel Arias on board, and now we're sitting at a 10-4 game, and we're only in the top of the third inning. What electricity so far in this matchup, and I'm loving it. Next up for the Mariners, 1-for-1 with a run, 2 RBIs, and a base on ball, third baseman Brendan Donovan. Batting second, the best center fielder in the game. You know who he is. It's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, left fielder Randy Arosarena. Let's go, baby. Definitely the most entertaining spring game the Mariners have had, and this is the perfect timing. The opponent that we're playing in 6 days, letting them know who we are, and again, both teams have about a 70 to 80% starting lineup, so it's not like we're playing a team that's got a bunch of backups in there. And Donovan with a hard hit ball and a nice base knock. The left fielder can't get it in time, and just plan to see a lot of Brendan Donovan doing that, taking walks, hitting home runs, getting clutch base knocks for guys like Cal and Julio and Naylor and Randy to knock him in. Great single there by Donovan into left field. Next up, 1-for-1 with a run and a base on ball, the best center fielder in the game, Julio Rodriguez. 13 batters, 6 hits, 10 runs, 2 home runs in that second inning for the Mariners. This is exactly what I wanted to see tonight. First pitch from Allen to Julio, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Logan Allen on the mound. Julio Rodriguez in the box. Julio, hard hit ball deep into right field, and it's Bob. Here we go. And runner decides to go back to second. Nice job there by Brendan Donovan, not getting greedy and trying to get to third. Let's go, baby. Next up, in the 3-hole left fielder, Randy Arosarena. Let's go, Randy. First pitch, high and away. Sweeper, 84 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Top of the third inning, 10-4, Mariner lead. 1-0 pitch, Randy crushes the hell out of that one, but it goes out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and no outs. Mariners up by 6 runs, 10-4 here early in the top of the third inning. Logan Allen on the mound again for the Guardians. Randy Arosarena in the box. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. High and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arosarena. Come on, Randy. 1-2 pitch. Hard hit ball. And that goes into right field. Here we go. Donovan is going to come home, and he is safe. Great job there by Randy Arosarena, and another RBI for the Mariners, baby. 11-4 Seattle. Donovan scores. Julio to third. Next up, DHing in the 4-hole. You know what it is. Italy's very own Dominic Canzone. Man, I can't wait for the regular season. First pitch to Dom, high and away with a cutter. Good eye and patience by Dominic. 1-0 count. Top of the third inning, 11-4 Mariners. Runners at first and third and no outs. We're pacing for 20-plus runs. 1-0 pitch, hard hit ball, and a little foul tip goes towards third base and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. Could be a breakout year for Brendan Donovan, a breakout year for Dominic Canzone, and we definitely need it. 1-1 pitch from Allen. Canzone, hard hit ball, hits the mound, and it gets through all the way to center field, and that scores another run. Julio comes home from third base, and we are on fire. 12-4 Mariners. Let's go. Way to bring the electricity, Dominic Canzone. Let's go. 4 straight singles by the Seattle Mariners, baby. Julio scores, Randy to second, and now we have runners at first and second and no outs. Next up is Connor Joe. Let's go, Connor. Obviously, Joe coming in for Josh Naylor, Kisner playing for Cal, but everyone else potentially could be a starter, and let's see if Joe can get it done here. He's had a pretty good spring. 1-0 pitch, hard hit ball, deep to center field. And that looks like it's going to stay in play, and that is 1 away. Runners are going to tag up, and everyone moves up. There we go. Nice base running there by the Mariners. Great situational hitting and great baseball here by the Mariners. Next up is Cole Young. This has been the most entertaining game, again, in all of spring training. And again, I think Vapor, we have you to thank for it. You know, because again, if we didn't have any donos or support, I don't know if this happens. I honestly feel, you know, people that end up showing the love and generosity, sports gods feel it. And again, what a performance here tonight. 0-1 pitch with that sweeper out of play. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 1 out. Vapor is the true MVP. 0-2 pitch. High and away. Throw to third, and he is safe. One-two pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Allen to Cole Young. 12-4 Mariners, top of the third with runners at second and third and 1 out. And again, we've already passed the 1 hour mark, and we're only in the third inning. Unbelievable. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball. Deep to right field. Oh, and he tries to catch it on a dive, and he misses it. Come home, baby. Come home. And another double. And that brings in a 2-run RBI double by Cole Young. Unbelievable. 14-4 Mariners. Vapor, you are the man. You know, but for us, getting our ass kicked with all our players, our good ones in the WBC, and now finally getting our guys back and having a performance like this, and not only that, we're playing this exact team in 6 days in the season opener. You couldn't have asked for a better game to show who we are. And that's contenders, not pretenders in 2026. Unbelievable. Next up is Victor Robles. Let's go. And again, we're not going to be like this every game. There's no doubt about that. I mean, we don't even know what will happen tomorrow or obviously on Sunday. But again, when you can play baseball like this with about a week to go, you know, it definitely shows you that your players are locked in. And again, Unbelievable game here. Best spring training game that I've seen in probably a few years, if not maybe the best one, considering we have 14 runs in the third inning. I mean, who knows? We might get to 20, 24. Who knows? Unbelievable. Top of the third inning, 14-4 Mariners. Next up is Victor Robles. And again, it's not like we're playing a bunch of backups and a bunch of minor league players. We have a starting lineup that's about 70 to 80%. The only two starters that aren't in are Naylor and Cal. Obviously, Connor Joe for Naylor, Andrew Kisner for Cal. But everyone else, potentially Cole Young and Rivas, could start games. Obviously, Colt Emerson will be in the mix. And JP and Bryce Miller have minor injuries, so we have to kind of keep an eye on Bryce Miller and JP Crawford. But if JP is injured and can't start the year, we could throw in, Colt Emerson or Leo Rivas and be just fine. First pitch to Victor Robles, high and away with a sweeper, 1-0 count. And it looks like Rocchio's got a bloody nose after that diving attempt. I mean, not only are they getting beat up, on the scoreboard, they're actually physically getting beat up, trying to make plays against the Mariners. That one is fouled back behind the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike from Allen to Robles. Logan Allen on the mound, Victor Robles in the box. Man, I can't wait to be able to get games like this in the regular season. But I'll take a spring training performance like this with less than a week to go. You best believe. Big swing and a miss by Victor. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 1 out. 14-4, Mariners up by 10 with 6 days to go before we play this very team on opening day at T-Mobile. 1-2 pitch. Woo! Hard hit ball by Victor Robles. He smokes it all the way for a ground rule double. Unbelievable. Man, we are hitting out here, baby. I mean, the way that the echo, comes off that bat to hit these big hits and home runs is just incredible. And that brings in another run home with that ground rule double. Cole Young scores 15-4 Mariners. Next up is Andrew Kisner. And another pitching change. Let's go, man. This is definitely going to be in the memory book for me. Oh my God. You missed the best spring training game for the Mariners ever. I'll give you a quick recap. It's been incredible. We're only in the third inning and we're up by 11. All right, so it all started off when Jose Ramirez got a homer to right center in the bottom of the first with Rocchio on board. So they were ahead 2-0, all right? And then we had the probably best second inning of all time. Cole Young, homer to right, 376 feet, 2-1. We cut into the lead. Then Brendan Donovan ends up, getting a big double. Rivas and Kisner scored, making it 3-2. And then Dominic Canzone with a grand salami with Donovan Rodriguez and Arosarena on board, 7-2 Mariners. Then Victor Robles says, I want to join the home run party. He homers to center, 380 feet left center to be exact, with Connor Joe and Cole Young on board, 10-2 Mariners. And then finally, the inning ends. Then Angel Martinez comes up. He hits a 2-run jack with Gabriel Arias on board, making it 10-4. And then Randy Arosarena says, hey, I want to join the party here. He gets a single to right. Donovan scores, 11-4 Mariners. Dominic Canzone singles the center with Julio on board, 12-4 Mariners. Young, just moments ago, gets a double to right. Randy and Canzone score, 14-4 Mariners. And then Victor Robles just hit a ground rule double with Cole Young on board, 15-4 Mariners. And again, yes, I know it's spring training, but again, this is the best outing that we've had all spring training. And again, when you're playing this exact same team in 6 days in the season opener, again, a great sign if you're a Seattle Mariner fan. We are locked, we are loaded, and probably the most entertaining, spring training game that anyone has ever seen. And for all the Mariner fans that decided to do something else, they're going to go back on their phones and see the highlights and say, damn, I should have watched this. Incredible. First pitch from Driver to Kisner with the sinker, 0-1 count. And it's great that it's just not one guy, or two guys. I mean, literally everyone up and down the board is contributing. That's what makes it exciting. The only person that doesn't have a hit yet is Connor Joe. Everyone else has got 1 or 2 hits, and a majority of the guys have 2 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys have 2 hits, right? And then you got 2 that have 1 each. And then obviously you got the single individual that doesn't have a hit yet, Connor Joe. But before this one is over, I imagine he'll be able to get at least 1. 0-2 pitch from Driver to Kisner. And he's battling with Mitch Garver for the backup to Cal Raleigh. 0-2 pitch. Kisner pops it up. Shallow center field. And that is 2 away. But for all of those games where we had all our players in the WBC and we were getting crushed, we were due for a blowout game like this. And it's just so happy that we're getting it here tonight. Next up is Leo Rivas. 80% of the starting lineup for pretty much both teams. Connor Joe playing for Josh Naylor and Kisner in for Cal. But other than that, it's a pretty realistic, starting, opening day or getting into that regular season mode. First pitch into Leo Rivas, 1-0 count. Reflect with a 3-er. Appreciate you. I found out that Paisley's vet bill is going to be over 400, so it's about 430 plus. So obviously any type of support that we can get, we've had a very light February and March. So again, thank you to Vapor with a 60. And then obviously now Reflect with a 3. We're at 63, 37 to go to hit the goal. And again, I just need to be able to pay the internet bill, pay the streaming fee, just take care of my dog, just the basic things. So thank you so much. Yeah, they had the Futures game that was earlier today that I ended up watching as well. We ended up losing to the Brewers, but Sloan looks like he could be the #1 prospect in pitching if he doesn't come up this year, next year. And then Sloan looks amazing. Cade Anderson obviously is going to be a good pitcher. We know that. I wish we would have been able to win that Futures game that was on MLB earlier this afternoon. But again, seeing Sloan and Cade made me smile. And again, we'll see what happens with them as we progress into this year. 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball towards first base by Rivas. And that is out number 3 for the Guardians. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. And again, it's been, very challenging in these last 2 months. So I may have to start putting some of my expensive memorabilia on eBay, Seattle Mariner memorabilia, to be able to kind of help me stay afloat, but again, I haven't really decided on the pieces that I have here in the studio that I would be willing to let go. I got Ichiro autograph, photo, that's PSA, DNA, through the WBC, Ken Griffey Jr. autograph things, graded rookie autos of Brian Wu, Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez. So, I would prefer not to sell my stuff, but again, sometimes you got to be able to do things to get by and whatnot. So if I do decide to start putting some of those things, on eBay for people to be able to buy, viewers of the channel and just people that, want to be able to see what I have available. If I end up doing that in the next few days, I'll let everyone know what my handle is on eBay. And, then even if I sell like one item, it could definitely help, going towards, things like Paisley and the vet and, just the basic things that I need to survive. So let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning and see who's up next here for the Guardians. But again, a lot of the items that I have are, pretty spendy, usually $100 to $400 type items and whatnot. So, but again, it kind of just depends on how attached I guess I am to some of these things. So let's see who's up next for the Guardians here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 15-4 Seattle. Next up, 1-for-1 with a run, 2 RBIs, a 2-run blast. One of the best third basemen in this generation, Jose Ramirez. Batting second, DHing in the 4-hole, Chase DeLauder. And batting in the 5-hole, new first baseman from the Brewers, Rhys Hoskins. First pitch from Mosser to Ramirez takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Shout out to Vapor and Reflect with the Dono train so far. We're at 63, 37 to go to hit the goal. 0-1 pitch, low and away with a sweeper. Tries to paint the corner but doesn't get the call. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jose Ramirez. 1-1 pitch, Ramirez popped up deep to center field. Julio is there. And that is 1 away. No fly zone in full effect. Nice job there by Julio Rodriguez. We've seen him rob, a Aaron Judge home run in the WBC, and he looks like he's locked and loaded to get the season started. Not only defensively, but offensively. Next up, 0 for 1 in the 4-hole, DHing Chase DeLauder. First pitch to DeLauder, hard hit laser towards first base and foul. 0-1 count. Gabe Mosser on the mound for the Mariners. Chase DeLauder in the box for the Guards. Oh, 1 pitch, knuckleball, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Chase DeLauder. Hard hit ball. Donovan is there. Throw to Connor Joe. Got him. And that is 2 away. Back-to-back knuckleballs by Mosser. Next up, in the 5-hole, the former Milwaukee Brewer, now Cleveland Guardian, first baseman Rhys Hoskins. Yeah, they also sent me a PDF estimate on like a tooth cleaning and whatnot. I don't know if you guys have dogs or cats or have ever taken them to the vet to have, teeth cleaning or maintenance on teeth for a pet. But they sent me an estimate was like $1,300 to $3,000. That's never happening. I love my pup and whatnot, and I'll be able to do, other types of treatments, but that's insane. Little flip to first. And nice job by Mosser with a slow dribbler by Rhys Hoskins to the pitcher, and that is out number 3. But again, when they send me even $400 is a lot of money, to be able to take care of, shots and other things like that. So again, any type of situation that, anybody could help. And it's not like I ever get any tax returns either. I don't think people realize that when you work for YouTube, again, you end up, making your money. And then at the time where you have to, do your taxes, you never get anything back. You always pay. So again, if you go from making a certain amount of, donations and money, and then it, kind of dries up a little bit, it definitely makes things really challenging, throughout the year. I mean, there was years, a few years back where I ultimately worked for free the whole year just to pay back from the previous year on what I ended up making money-wise and whatnot. So, but again, this is my dream, and I know it's not going to be easy. I've been doing this for 14 years. This is my 10th year on YouTube. And again, sometimes, it's not about the money, per se. Obviously, you need money to survive. But again, I don't do this for the money. I do this for the love of the game, and obviously wanting to be able to do this for y'all. So I appreciate you. Reflect with a 40. Thank you so much. That'll go towards the Paisley Pup Veterinary Fund. Stacks. Racks with another Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. We hit our goal of 103. Let's see if we can get to the secondary goal by potentially a few others if they come through. Thank you so much. I appreciate you tremendously. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. Another 40 on the Dono train. Appreciate the two of you very, very much. And again, I get it. A lot of things have gone up, gas and food and everything else. But also remember, some people have 2 or 3 jobs, and I get that, but again, if this is like the only source, of income I have, unless I start selling my stuff, anything that is done, likes, subs, views, donos, shares, it all adds up. And then the more people that support, that'll get more people to open up and support. So thank you so much. And Brandon Donovan with another hit into right field. and that was beautiful on that 0-1 pitch. Brendan Donovan is killing it, 3 for 3. He did have a 4 for 4 day a couple days ago, and this is the best leadoff hitter that we are going to have since Ichiro Suzuki. Yes, I said it. He's going to be like Ichiro Suzuki. Unbelievable. Nice job there by Donovan. Next up, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And again, when you have guys like J.P. Crawford, Victor Robles, and Randy Arozarena, it's just not good enough to be a leadoff hitter, especially if you want guys like Cal and Julio and Naylor and Randy to get RBIs and home runs. But we finally filled that need at leadoff hitter. And not only that, he's got power to hit home runs, singles, doubles, triples, and he's a good defender. And best of all, he's a good human being and a great teammate. It's everything that we've ever dreamed of as a leadoff hitter after Ichiro, and we finally found it. Great job. First pitch from Allen to Julio, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. The best center fielder in the game hasn't had a productive first half of the season yet. But again, sometimes you got to get through year 5 through 10 to hit your prime. And hopefully this will be the year that Julio will be a top 3 MVP candidate. 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball, deep to center field, back. See ya! Julio Rodriguez with a big 2-run blast. He says, raise the roof, baby. 17-4. Mariners, let's go! Telling you, the Dono train brings out the best in the Seattle Mariners. The more people that we get to support in a massive way, massive things seem to happen on the channel. Unbelievable. Vapor and Reflect say, hey, we're going to support our boy. We want to make sure that he can be okay. And look at that. Seattle Mariners and the Sports Gods say, we're going to put on a show today for the Northwest Sports Fanatics. 17-4, 2-run blast by Julio Rodriguez. Next up is Randy Arozarena. And we just want one thing from Randy. Hustle to first base, even if it looks like you're 99% out, and hustle on ground balls in left field. If you do those two things, Mariner fans will forgive you for all the laziness in the last few years. First pitch, low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees, 2 balls and no strikes to Randy Arozarena. 2-0 pitch, hard hit ball towards third base and foul. Cutter 86 miles an hour there by Logan Allen. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 4th inning, 17-4 Mariners. I've been praying, for a day like this for a long time, and I'm really happy that it happened here today. And again, it's not like it's just one guy. Literally everyone in the lineup is producing. We just need Connor Joe to be able to fill in the gap. He's the only one that hasn't got a hit yet. Pitch fouled off. High and away. Sinker 88 miles an hour there by Logan Allen. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Randy crushes it into left field, but it ends up dropping to the left fielder, and that is 1 away. Angel Martinez with the nice grab there in left field. Next up, the guy that should have a good breakout season with this guy right here, Brendan Donovan. Our DH for the season in the 4-hole today, Dominic Canzone. How dare they not play him on Team Italy in the WBC? You're telling me you think that there's so many players that are better than Dominic Canzone? Unbelievable. And I get it. If you think Miles Mastrobuoni is a backup for Team Italy, like he is on the Mariners, that's fine. I get that. But Dominic Canzone should have been starting for Team Italy. And again, after this season, they're going to go back and look at what he does this year and say, man, we made a mistake. 0-1 pitch. High and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. 2 for 3 with 2 runs, 5 ribbies, and a grand salami earlier this evening. The Italian stallion always comes up big. Slow dribbler and a hard run to first, but the toe tap on the bag beats it by Reese Hoskins, and that is 2 away. Next up, 0 for 2 with a run, base on ball, and a K. The only Mariner that doesn't have a hit. Let's get it here, baby. Connor Joe filling in for Josh Naylor today. First pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Dave in the building, what's good? Yeah, I would say that's a fair statement. I mean, again, the Dodgers, The Blue Jays and the Mariners are probably the most excited coming into this year, and all three teams are going to be very, very good again in 2026. Dodgers are trying to go back to back to back as champions, and the Blue Jays and Mariners are trying to get to the same spot that they got to last season. Maybe just with a different result for Seattle. 1-1 pitch, and that one is going out of play for Connor Joe. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning, Mariners casually up 13 runs, 17-4. Let's go. 1-2 pitch, and that one's fouled off towards third base. But I really do feel that Brendan Donovan and Dominic Canzone could make a huge impact on this roster. We know Cal will be great. Julio will be great. You got Naylor and you got Randy. But then also the bottom end of the order will be very crucial with Young and Emerson and Robles, JP and Rivas and Dominic Canzone. So again, it's not just the top of the order. And Connor Joe finally does it. A hard hit ball gets past the infield, and every Seattle Mariner has at least 1 hit. Nice job, Connor. He heard me. He said, you know what? I need to get a hit. You're right. Next up, shortstop in the 6 hole, Cole Young. 2 for 2 with 3 runs, 3 RBIs, and a base on ball. We're going to have a pitching change. Logan Allen, then they brought in Thornton, and then Driver, and then went back to Allen, and now we'll see who they decide to bring in. Yeah, and on the plus side, for you, at least Framber Valdez is no longer there. And again, anytime you end up having, a catcher, call a certain type of pitch, and then the pitcher tries to, go against that and tries to throw at the catcher and hurt him, at that point, they can say, oh, we talked about it, this or that, but that's unexcusable. And I knew as soon as I saw that play that coming into this, next year, if his contract was up or, if there was an ability to get rid of him, that the Astros would, and they did. So, you don't want to have any cancer type of individuals, in the bullpen or in the locker room. And again, we know Framber Valdez had, a certain type of skill set. And when he was on, he was electric. But again, when you're going to do something that is kind of, Bush League and everyone sees it on planet Earth, at some point, it's not just a mistake. It was intentional. And again, I think you guys will be better off without him. But he's a good pitcher. But again, kind of Bush League, if you ask me. Top of the 4th inning, 17-4 Seattle. But again, the games against the Astros, Rangers, Athletics, and Angels will not be easy as they bring in Jay Driver. First pitch to Cole Young, and he fouls it off. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. One pitch, fouled off behind the plate by Cole Young. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Driver to Young. Opening day will be on Wednesday in 5 days with the Giants and Yankees, I believe, for the single game on Netflix. But Mariners opening day will be against this very team, the Guardians, on the 26th at T-Mobile. One-two pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. I mean, we don't really know the injuries, William. I mean, that definitely would be awesome if we could get to that number. Again, if we could have our pitchers stay healthy and our regulars, but it definitely feels like the team could hit 88 to 95 wins, depending on, how hot we get and who's available at the end of the year. Obviously not having Brian Wu cost us, from getting over 90, but again, if we were able to have Wu healthy, at the end of the year, we probably would have been able to squeak out, 4 to 6 more wins at the end of the year. 3-2 pitch. Hard hit ball there by Cole Young. Deep to center field. All the way back to the wall. Wow. Big catch. And his back, Stephen Kwan, vibrated against the wall and it moved. And that is out number 3. Tyler, you missed the best spring training game the Mariners have ever had. Vapor with another $40 dono after the Dom Bomb, which I didn't see until now. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, Vapor. Shout out to Reflect and Vapor for holding it down. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. And again, it's something that is really, really needed. We had a very, very light February and March. That was very challenging, to say the least. I got a $430 potential vet bill for Paisley for, vaccines and shots and, things of that nature, and just being able to survive, with the internet, bill, which is usually about 100 and 110, streaming fees about 50. So, it's not like I need to be rich, but I need to be able to, survive to continue, what we're doing here on the channel. And I appreciate it very, very much. First pitch to Gabriel Arias. Takes a strike looking there from Gabe Mosser. Sinker, 88 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Gabe Mosser on the mound for the Mariners. Gabriel Arias in the box. 0-1 pitch, fouls it behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes from Mosser to Arias. And I apologize to Vapor that I didn't see that sooner. Obviously, I got the game going on and whatnot. But again, every single type of support that we can get with likes and subs and shares is fantastic. But obviously with the dono train, with everything that is needed, at the moment, again, I might have to be able to throw some of my personal memorabilia from the Mariners on my eBay, but I would kind of prefer not to, because a lot of that stuff is kind of sacred to me. But again, if it comes down to my memorabilia or Paisley or, getting the bills taken care of, you got to be able to sometimes sacrifice some of those special things that are in your life. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Arias, and a nice punch out there by Gabe Mosser. And that is 1 away. Next up for the Guardians in the 7-hole, left fielder Angel Martinez. Now I'll give you a recap here in a second once I have a chance to. But we've had a lot of home runs, 17 runs, 16 hits, and homers by Cole Young, Dominic Canzone, Victor Robles, Julio Rodriguez, and then a lot of hits on top of that as well. So, but we put up 10 runs in the second, 5 in the third, and obviously 2 in the fourth. But a solo dinger by Cole Young, grand salami by Dominic Canzone, 3-run blast by Victor Robles, all in that second inning. And we had a 2-run blast by Julio a few minutes ago. 2-0 pitch, and that one is fouled off into left field, out of play by Angel Martinez. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning, Mariners up by 13, 17-4, and arguably the best spring training game the Mariners have had in years. Appreciate that, Vapor. Sarah in the building, what's good? Yeah, and again, it's special that we're doing this against a team that we're playing in 6 days on the season opener. So again, I have no doubt that the Mariners are going to be one of the top teams, if not the top team overall in the American League. I know the Blue Jays are going to be good. The Yankees should be good. Mariners should be good. There's going to be a few teams. The Tigers, hard hit ball, throw to first. Got him! What a throw by Brendan Donovan, and Connor Joe stretching his leg and getting the out. Beautiful. Sarah with a $5, appreciate you. Every dollar counts. Thank you so much. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Thank you so much. We're at 148 on the dono train, and again, it's the biggest dono day we've had in a while. And again, I definitely need it. Paisley's got a vet bill of $440 and just the regular things that need to be taken care of. It's been a very, very light and kind of a challenging February and March. And again, I'm just so thankful that the regular season is a few days away, and if we can start to get some of the regulars back, and I know they will be back, during, the regular season games, hopefully we'll be able to have a monster year. This is my 14th year on the channel, 10th on YouTube, and I hope it ends up being one of the biggest years that we've had, and hopefully the Mariners will be able to make the World Series this year. 3-0 pitch to Hedges, in there for a strike. 4-seam fastball by Mosser. 3 balls and 1 strike to Austin Hedges. Three-one pitch, and that one is hit behind the plate. Gabe Mosser on the mound for the Mariners. Austin Hedges in the box for the Guardians. Three-two pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. Wow, Hedges can't believe it. And there's going to be a challenge here. Oh, they're gonna change it to a ball, and that's a walk. It's in the strike zone though, on the line, so they could have actually kept that at strike 3, but I guess it's a little pity call because they're down by 13 runs. But it was on the line, so go figure. But Austin Hedges loves it. Look at his reaction. Next up, 0 for 1 in the 9-hole, right fielder CJ Kafis. First pitch to Kafis, line drive towards first base, getting past Connor Joe. Hurry, Robles, get it! And Robles finally gets it out after an awkward bounce and a wild throw that goes through the catcher's mitt and back to the pitcher. Now we got runners at second and third for Stephen Kwan. Nice big hit, laser towards first base by CJ Kafis. Next up is Stephen Kwan. But shout out to Reflect, Sarah, and Vapor for coming up big. That means a lot. Absolutely, Dank. You know it. They're not going to forget about this. They're going to remember it once we get the banner, revealed. 2025 AL West champions. Crowd will be going crazy. And again, we got Logan Gilbert on the bump, even though I was kind of rooting for Brian Wu, but I don't know if he's 100% yet or not. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Stephen Kwan. Bottom of the fourth inning, 17-4 Seattle. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. But again, we had plenty of games where we got our ass kicked, where we had 90% of the roster in the WBC. So now everyone is back, except for Cal Raleigh and Josh Naylor in this game. And definitely we are locked and loaded and we're ready for the regular season. 2 balls and 1 strike to Stephen Kwan. A little foreshadowing, hopefully, for what could happen on opening day. And I don't expect us to put up 17 on opening day, but again, it's nice to be able to show, what this Cleveland Guardian team is and what we are about in 2026 for the Seattle Mariners. 2-1 pitch, high and away with a sweeper, 78 miles an hour. 3-1 pitch, and that is a walk to Stephen Kwan. Bases are loaded. Yeah, I thought Wu deserved it, but again, he may not be 100%, and they may just want to go with, Gilbert, Kirby, then Wu, and then, Miller, and then Castillo, or we may see Wu in the 2. It'll be very interesting to see, how they do the rotation. But if Wu isn't starting on opening day, he should be number 2 over Kirby, and Miller is injured, and then you got Castillo at the 5. I'm kind of waiting for Sloan and Cade, to get a chance to start, because I know they're raw and I know they're young, but again, I kind of feel like, once they're ready, Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan, I feel that once they're ready, they're probably going to be better than Miller and Castillo, if I'm being honest, because again, Miller's injury prone and Castillo isn't any good anymore, in my opinion. Again, he's like kind of on the outside, looking in, and his numbers have gone down every year since we got him, in 2022 to make the playoff run. And again, there are games where La Piedra is good, but there's going to be a lot of games where he's not. And again, I'm just kind of waiting, for Sloan and Cade to get a chance to challenge Miller and Castillo. And again, it's not like I don't like Miller and Castillo. I think Miller is better than Castillo at this point, younger, and got a little bit more in his bag. But again, if he keeps getting injured, you're not going to be able to benefit the team. So it's still, a ways away before we talk about Sloan and Cade Anderson with, Kirby, Wu, and, obviously, Logan Gilbert. But, it potentially could be a superstar starting 5, even though our starting 5 is still one of the best in the big leagues, with Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, Castillo, and Miller. So. All right, pitching change for the Mariners. Stephen Wraith coming in. Last season in high A and double A. First pitch to Brian Rocchio, low and at the knees with a sweeper, 1-0 count. Stephen Wraith on the mound, Brian Rocchio in the box. See if we can find a better photo of that one. I don't think he has another one. That might be the best that we can find, except for maybe this one. Pitches low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Brian Rocchio with bases loaded. 2-0 pitch. Misses inside. 3-0 count to Brian Rocchio. And Jose Ramirez on deck. Oh my. .30 pitch by Wraith. Finally gets a strike. Come on, Stefan. That's a better one. Had some time with the Everett Aqua Sox last year. Bottom of the 4th inning, bases loaded with 2 outs. Stephen Wraith on the mound for the Mariners. Brian Rocchio in the box. Rocchio, line drive to first. Connor Joe's got it, and a toe tap on the bag, and they leave 3 stranded. Great defense by Connor Joe. There we go. Because if Jose Ramirez would have came up, it probably would have ended up being 17-7, 17-8, 17-9. They would have been able to, start a little bit more of a rally there. But Rocchio grounds out to first, and we leave 3 stranded there. Good job. Yeah, we've missed you too. It's been a minute. Sarah with another $2 holla, and every dollar counts. Stacks. Rax with another Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. And again, that everything will go towards, Paisley's 440 vet bill, and just the basics of the internet bill, $110, streaming fee, $45, and things of that nature that we just need to be able to get taken care of. Let's go to the top of the 5th inning, and the Mariners are up by 13, 17-4. I love it. Shout out to Vapor, Sarah, and Reflect for showing some love. And let's see who's up next for the Mariners in the top of the 5th. Next up for the Mariners, 2 for 3 with a run and 4 RBIs. Right fielder Victor Robles. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run and a K, catcher Andrew Kisner. And batting third in the 9-hole, second baseman Leo Rivas. So Ramirez got a 2-run blast in the bottom of the first, making it 2-0. Cole Young in the top of the second had a solo dinger, making it 2-1. Then Brandon Donovan doubled the center, scoring Rivas and Kisner. We go up 3-2, and then we just go crazy. Dominic Canzone with a grand salami, making it 7-2, scoring Donovan, Julio, and Randy. Then Robles with a 3-run jack with Joe and Young on board, making it 10-2 Mariners in the top of the second. And then Angel Martinez comes up in the bottom of the second, hits a 2-run blast with Arias on board, making it 10-4. And then Randy Arosarena single to right. Donovan scored, making it 11-4. Canzone with a single to center. Julio scoring, making it 12-4. Young with a double to right. Randy and Canzone coming in, 14-4. And then Robles with a ground rule double. Cole Young scoring, 15-4. And then Julio with a 2-run blast with Brandon Donovan on board in the top of the 4th, 17-4 Mariners. And that's a mouthful. First pitch from Holderman to Victor Robles, takes a strike looking high and inside, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Victor Robles. No balls and 2 strikes to Victor Robles here in the top of the 5th. Has Durangelo got a chance to pitch for you guys? Have you seen him at all? I mean, I've been paying attention to the Mariners, but I haven't been watching too many spring training games of other teams. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Victor Robles in a rare strikeout, and that is 1 away. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run and a K, battling with Mitch Garver for the backup catching position to Cal Raleigh, Andrew Kisner. Let's go, Kiz. First pitch by Kisner fouled off, high and inside, 0-1 count. Who's been playing well for you guys in spring training? Anybody that's been able to surprise you a little bit? And obviously we had a lot of players, on a lot of our favorite teams that were in the WBC. So hard hit ball into right field, blooper drops. There we go. Nice job by Kisner. Nice job, Andrew. Next up in the 9-hole, second baseman Leo Rivas. Let's go, Leo. And again, we have minor injuries to Bryce Miller and J.P. Crawford, so we may see Cole Young and Colt Emerson, play together. But if they decide to go with Rivas over Emerson, that wouldn't be really that shocking either. But we'll kind of wait and see based on the lineups and, if we got a lefty or a righty on the mound. First pitch from Holderman to Rivas, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. .1-0 pitch, hard hit ball into right field, and an almost identical spot by Kisner for Rivas. Beautiful hitting by the Mariners tonight. And now we got runners at first and second with 1 out. And when the bottom end of the order is going off, that's a good sign for your team. Great job by Kisner. A little blooper there in the right field. Leo Rivas says, you know what? I can do it too. And he does. Runners at first and third now with 1 out. Next up is Brendan Donovan. Is he going to have another 4-for-4 day? He had a 4-for-4 day a couple days ago, and now he has a chance to do it again. He's going to be my favorite leadoff hitter that we've had since Ichiro Suzuki. And Donovan, hard hit ball into center field and caught. Runner tags up from third, and Kisner comes home. 18-4 Mariners. Nice sac fly there by Brendan Donovan. Right ends up, baby. And again, I don't think there's been a better fit, than Donovan, besides maybe Josh Naylor at first base. Like, those are, pieces that we desperately needed, and we finally got it. All right, looks like Julio's day is done, and they're going to bring in Ciani since we're up by 14 runs. I mean, it would have been nice to have Julio with one more at-bat, to see if he could hit another 2-run jack, but I guess, he's put in the work. Sammy Ciani in the box. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike from Holderman to Ciani. And I really do think that Brendan Donovan is going to be a huge fan favorite, just like Josh Naylor became when he joined the team last year. Especially with all of the power that he has to hit home runs, singles, doubles, triples, great defender. And on top of that, a great human being. And again, I think that's the part that a lot of fans miss. It's great to be an athlete, but it's even better to be a good human being on and off the field. Takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. 1-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking, and down goes Ciani, and the Mariners leave 1 stranded. Now, if Julio was up, it probably would be 20-4 right now, but I guess we can give the Guardians a little bit of a break. Yeah, and it's good to see Julio's wrist is okay. I was a little, nervous about that and curious to see how he would look in these few games leading up to the opening day. But safe to say the wrist is okay, and Julio still the man. (18-4). Mariners up by 14 in the bottom of the 5th. Pinch me. Am I dreaming? Next up, 1 for 2 with a run and 2 RBIs in the 3-hole. Third baseman, one of the best third basemen in this generation. We assume he'll be a Hall of Famer one day, Jose Ramirez. Batting second, 0 for 2, DHing in the 4-hole, Chase DeLauder. And batting third, 0 for 2, first baseman in the 5-hole, Reese Hoskins. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 200 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Shout out to Vapor, Reflect, and Sarah for coming up big so far here this evening. Appreciate it more than you know. $23,415 subs, only 85 to get to 23,500. Let's go. Into subs since the last commercial break. And we had great support based off views in the WBC. And that was a good, distraction while we waited for spring training as we see Julio waving to the fans. And next up is Matt Brash. And hopefully Brash and Gabe Spire will be good. Because again, we need all of our top dogs with Bizzardo, Brash, and Spire to be on point when the season starts. Let's go, Brash. First pitch for Brash. High and tight inside, 1-0 count. Let's go, Brash. 1-0 pitch, sinker in there for a strike to Jose Ramirez. 96 miles an hour, and that's what I like to see out of Brash. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Ramirez. 1-1 pitch, gets away from Kisner. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jose Ramirez. Matt Brash on the mound, Jose Ramirez in the box. Two-one pitch. Ramirez pops it up a mile. And Siani rushing in and making the play like he's Julio. And that is 1 away. Nice job by Siani. Next up, 0 for 2 in the 4-hole, DHing Chase DeLauder. First pitch, sinker in there for a strike to DeLauder. 0-1 count. Matt Brash on the mound. Chase DeLauder in the box. Oh, 1 pitch outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Chase DeLauder. Change up 90 miles an hour there by Matt Brash, missing by a few inches. 1-1 pitch. Change up just outside. 89 miles an hour by Matt Brash. 2 balls and 1 strike to Chase DeLauder. Yeah, and I know you're going to miss him, you know. And again, Mariner fans, you know, we're going to fall in love. I mean, a lot of us already have. But again, you know, I couldn't have thought of a better piece that would have been a perfect fit. Even more perfect fit than maybe Luis Arise. That would have been another great fit for a leadoff hitter for us. But he signed a deal with the Giants in San Francisco in the offseason. And honestly, I think Donovan would be probably a better fit. So we got an ABS challenge here. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chase DeLauder. And a little slow dribbler up the middle. Flip to first. And tried to go behind the back with it, Connor Joe, but couldn't get it done. And the runner is safe. You know, and again, if Brandon Donovan ends up, you know, doing Brandon Donovan things, that could be the difference between us making the World Series or not. You know, if Donovan has a breakout year with Dominic Canzone, that could be the, you know, extra thing that we need to be able to get where we need to go. So next up is Rhys Hoskins. First pitch to Rhys Hoskins, the former Brewer, low and away with a slider. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, hard hit ball, deep to right field, but it stays in play. Victor Robles is there, and that is 2 away. Good defense there by Victor Robles. Down goes Rhys Hoskins. Next up, in the 6-hole, shortstop Gabriel Arias. First pitch, low and away, 1-0 count. You know, and I feel it's the same thing. We're going to miss Polo. We're going to miss Gino, you know, but sometimes there's just those things that are a perfect fit for a team that's missing a piece or two. And again, you know, we're going to definitely enjoy our time with him, and hopefully he'll be able to take us to a World Series this year. First pitch, low and at the knees, in the zone, but called ball, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch from Brash, high and away with that slider. 2 balls and no strikes to Gabriel Arias. 2-0 pitch, slider missing, low and away. 3 balls and no strikes from Brash to Arias. And with the continued support by Vapor, Reflect, and Sarah, we're at 150 on that Dono train. Even though it says Dawn, I'll have to change that. But I appreciate you guys. There we go. Dono, not Dawn Train. Yeah, Waddle is injury prone. Yeah, but he is excited. I mean, the Dolphins blew up their whole team, so. And we'll figure out if, Miami will ever be relevant. But if Waddle can stay healthy, that'll be a great, 1-2 combo with Bo Nix. But that question is, can Waddle stay healthy? And we'll see some of those Penguin Waddle celebrations in a Denver uniform this season. Hopefully he'll just be able to play the games. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Angel Martinez. 1-1 pitch. High and inside. Almost hits Martinez in the back. He has to jump out of the way. 2 balls and 1 strike to Angel Martinez. Brash on the mound. Angel Martinez in the box. Bottom of the 5th inning, 18-4. Mariners up by 14. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Angel Martinez. He was going for the moon on that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Martinez. Bottom of the 5th, runners at first and second with 2 outs. But I've been praying a lot lately, and looks like some of my prayers were answered tonight because of you guys, so thank you so much. And hopefully we'll be able to get continued support, every day moving forward as we're getting closer and closer to the regular season. We'll be live here on the channel doing Mariners on Saturday and Sunday. Monday and Tuesday we'll be off, and then we'll do the Yankees and the Giants, I believe, on Netflix on Wednesday for the season opener. Only game on that day. And we got an ABS challenge here. And then we'll do the Mariners and the Guardians, and then Mariners every day moving forward after that on the channel until we get to football season, where we end up doing, a little bit of the NFL and college football. And obviously, depending on what falls on the NFL draft, that is usually something that we do here as well. Standing with Ukraine in the building. What's good? Three-two pitch. And a little slow dribbler up the middle. Throw to first. And Connor Joe's got it, and that's out number 3. They leave 2 stranded again. And let's go to the top of the 6th inning with the Mariners showing who they are as we get ready for the regular season, up 14 runs. To say that I was heartbroken when Evans left is an understatement, and obviously, George Kittle was really the main influence, for Mike signing there. The Niners are a great organization, and again, it's definitely going to help them since they've had issues with, Debo going to the Commanders. Ayuk will probably get released this summer, and they really didn't have a number 1 receiver. And then Ricky Pearsall ended up getting hurt. So again, now to be able to have, Brock Purdy at quarterback, run CMC at running back, Christian McCaffrey, then Mike Evans as the 1, and then you can sprinkle a few other receivers with him, with a George Kittle. That's going to be awesome for them. And I'll be rooting for Mike Evans to have a great end of his career. I'm going to really miss him. There's no doubt about that. And I understand it's a business, right? And again, he wants one more shot to try to get to a Super Bowl. And you're not going to be able to get there with Tampa until they fire Todd Bowles. Now, if they would have fired Todd Bowles and hired Mike Tomlin, maybe Mike Evans would have stayed. But again, they didn't do it. And then he decided that he was going to be better off spending the last 2 or 3 years with the Niners. So I don't blame him. Again, the defense needs a retooling, to say the least. And I like our offense. Our offense wasn't the problem with Baker Mayfield. But yeah, I think, the question is also, can Godwin stay healthy? He's been kind of injury prone the last couple of years, but, it'll either be Abuka 1, Godwin 2, or Godwin 1, Abuka, or maybe 1A, 1B, because again, it just depends on where they line up and whatnot. But hopefully, both will be able to stay healthy. So. But I love Kate Otten. I love Abuka. I love Godwin. I love Baker Mayfield. Rashad White is gone. And obviously we brought, a few other pieces in, but, we obviously know Bucky Irving can be the man. Had some issues with injuries and mental health. And, I'm excited for the upcoming season, but with that being said, I'm not excited with Todd Bowles. So it's like if we can win the division or compete, with the Panthers, obviously we had a good month and then a terrible, 2.5 months after the first month, where Baker played great, late in the fourth quarter, but defense was absolutely terrible. And that's a big reason why Mike left. Next up is Randy Arosarena. Festa on the mound, Arosarena in the box. Yeah, Christian Kirk will make a good slot receiver for them if they decide to put him there. 1-1 pitch. Popped up into foul territory. And that is caught. And that is 1 away. Next up is Dominic Canzone. Yeah, and it's good that they got Evans and Kirk, but also, the Niner defense has a long ways to go. Again, they don't have the personnel really to keep up with some of the other teams in the NFC defensively, but we'll see. They played above and beyond because they have a great owner, a great GM, with Lynch and a great coach in Shanahan, and they were able to do the best they could with a no-name defense. But again, if they want to be able to get onto the Seahawk level, they're going to have to do a little bit better on that side of the ball in the draft, free agency, not only this year, but in the next few years moving forward before the window closes for Purdy, Kittle, Run CMC, Mike Evans, and Christian Kirk. 1-0 pitch, high and away with a cutter by Festa. 2 balls and no strikes to Dominic Canzone. Festa, the former Mariner, throwing to Dominic Canzone here. 2-0 pitch, sweeper in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. Come on, Dom. 2-1 pitch. And Canzone with a hard hit ball into right field. And again, I really think that Brandon Donovan and Dominic Canzone are going to be the X factors for the Mariners this year. Great job by Dom. We finally found our DH, and he doesn't have to be a guy, that can't defend. He doesn't have to be a guy that's got tree trunks for legs. We don't need the Mike Fords. We don't need the Jared Vogelbacks, the Carlos Santanas. We can have a guy that is, a normal build that can hit. And we finally found our DH. And he can fill in for Victor Robles once in a while in right field if need be. Next up is Connor Joe. And a little laser towards first base, just over the first baseman's glove, foul. Top of the 6th inning, 18-4, Mariners with a 14-run lead. Exactly. It's a damn shame that the Italian Stallion couldn't even play for Team Italy in the WBC. Obviously, they're not aware of Dominic Canzone's game. But we are. Sweeper inside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Connor Joe. And if Team Italy had Dominic Canzone starting, maybe they would have beaten Venezuela. Just saying. They definitely would have been more competitive in my eyes. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees with a sweeper, 85 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Connor Joe. Two 2-1 pitch, foul behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Connor Joe. Come on, Connor. He was the last Mariner to be able to get a hit. Everyone's got 1 or 2 hits or more than that at this point now, especially Brendan Donovan. It's been an absolutely fantastic game to watch and call. 2-2 pitch. Connor Joe with a hard hit ball to center field, but it gets right into the center fielder's mitt, and that is 2 away. Nice job by Fox with the out. Next up in the 6th hole, shortstop Cole Young. First pitch, low and at the knees with a sweeper, 1-0 count. First pitch low and at the knees to Young with the sweeper. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Young crushes it deep into right field. It is going back out of the stadium almost. Wow. Cole Young with his second homer of the day. Let's go. Cole Young making it 20-4. Seattle Mariners. Unbelievable. 2 home runs by Cole Young. A 2-run blast by Julio. 3-run blast by Victor Robles. Grand salami by the Italian stallion Dominic Canzone. Pinch me. I'm dreaming, baby. It's a Cole world. First pitch to Victor Robles. Fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. And this is definitely one of the best games that the Mariners have had in recent memory, spring training or not. But the best part about it is we play this team in 6 days on the season opener. So they're not going to forget this one bit. And Robles with a hit right up the middle. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go M's, baby. Nice job by Cole Young with another home run. Victor Robles with a single up the middle. We're pacing for 30 runs. Next up is Andrew Kisner. No, they're going to go Johnny Pareda. First pitch with the sweeper to Pareda. Coming in for Kisner, 1-0 count. Let's go, Johnny. And obviously we had quite a few catchers on the roster. Cal Raleigh, right, as a starter. Mitch Garver and Andrew Kisner fighting for that number 2. And also with Pareda and Brian O'Keefe. So right now, 5. And Pareda with a hit to right field. Let's go. Unbelievable. 5th string catcher can get a hit for the Mariners. Nice job, Johnny Pareda. You the man. Next up, Leo Rivas, unless they start to funnel in some of the more of the backups. Unbelievable. And obviously we had the Futures game earlier today, so some of those guys might have been able to come into this game, you know, with a score like this. But, oh, now we got Ryan Bliss coming in. Let's go, Ryan. First pitch to Bliss for a strike. 0-1 count. Come on, Ryan. Big swing and a miss there by Bliss. No balls and 2 strikes from Festa to Bliss. Come on, Ryan. 0-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. Bliss can't believe it. And we're going to challenge this. Call confirmed. That's strike 3. The announcer says Bliss should be ejected. Get out of here with that. Don't be mad because your team is down by 16 runs and you have to say some nonsense like that. And obviously, even the announcers are getting caught up on this here. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 20-4 Mariners. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning and see who's next up for the Cleveland Guardians. Next up, 0-for-0 with 2 walks, but he still has a positive smile on his face. 8-hole hitter catching Austin Hedges. Batting second in the 9-hole, right fielder, 1-for-2, CJ Kafus. And coming in for Stephen Kwan will be Fox. Let's see who this is. Jacob Gage Fox. All right, Jose Ferrer is coming in, and this is the individual we traded for Harry Ford. So let's see what he's got. Hopefully he'll be a little bit better than Gabe Spire was in the WBC. You know, after getting a strikeout or an out, he gave up a home run twice. Throw to first, and that is one away. Down goes Hedges. And again, it's nice to be able to have another lefty in the pen with Gabe Spire, but only if they're good. You know, we don't want them to be liabilities in the bullpen. And hopefully it'll end up being something that we will enjoy seeing, you know, when he gets into the game. Jose Ferrer on the mound, Jake Apis in the box. First pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 count. The first couple opportunities I saw with Ferrer, he didn't look good. You know, he didn't really have the control, and I was a little nervous. I get it at spring training, but again, you know, you want to see a guy get better, you know, in the opportunities that he was getting. And in a few of the opportunities that I saw, it almost looked like he was getting worse. But hopefully, you know, he'll be able to get his reps in, and he'll end up being a positive piece to this team, especially since we traded away Harry Ford for him. 1-1 pitch. Hard hit ball. And out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Jose Ferrer to CJ Kafis. One-two pitch from Ferrer, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to CJ Kafis. Two-two pitch, low and at the knees. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Jose Ferrer to CJ Kafis. But, you know, I'm hoping, I'm optimistic that Ferrer will be, you know, a positive for us and not a liability. And it's nice to have another guy with Gabe as a lefty. Big swing and a miss. And that's what I like to see. Jose Ferrer with a punch out. Yeah, there's a few individuals that, you know, may, you know, not be able to make the opening day roster initially, you know, might be a backup. I saw an article about Jared Kelenic, and he can't even make the White Sox roster. So that's pretty sad to see where Kelenic was, you know, and then now where he's at. And, you know, he's maybe a few months or a few years away from not even being in the league anymore, which is kind of sad. You know, I know a lot of us were kind of rooting for him, but I think more of his problem was up here. You know, the mentals of the game rather than the physicality of the game. And, you know, I wish Kelenic the best, but, you know, maybe the Mariners could fix him, you know, and give him some kind of like minor league deal, especially if we can get Kelenic for nothing, you know, for free, and just have him in the minors. And if certain guys get hurt, he can work his way back up. But, you know, we'll see where it goes. Not every former Mariner has success like Adam Jones and a few others. 2-1 pitch. In there for a strike with that sinker. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ferrer to Fox. But bullpen was our number one necessity, you know, so obviously having to trade a guy that would have been a backup, you know, and not really getting a whole lot of playing time to a team that could, you know, maybe use him depending on how he progresses. And again, obviously everyone's team's biggest weakness is the pen, and to be able to get another lefty with Gabe, I can understand why they did it. 3-2 pitch, and that one is a hard hit ball towards first base and out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs, bottom of the 6th, 20-4. Mariners up by 16. Bye-bye. 3-2 pitch, high and inside, and that is a walk to Fox. It was almost the beginning of the end when he kicked the cooler, and then broke his foot, and again, like there was a certain type of skill set that he showed, but for me, he was kind of mentally immature. And again, if you're immature, as a player and you don't eventually mature, and things start wearing on you, it's going to be really hard to come back. And again, I feel it's just as mental as it is physical for him. And Ferrer beans the next player in the back. Holy hell. Come on, Jose. We didn't pick you up for Harry Ford to do that. And now we got runners at first and second with 2 outs. And again, now you guys are starting to see some of the things that I saw with Jose, earlier in spring training. Some things are good, but there are some things that are very questionable with Jose's game here early. And again, I don't have a whole lot of trust in Gabe Spire. I mean, I know he's a name, but, to get 1 strikeout, give up a home run in the WBC, and then to do it again, we can't have that for Seattle. And I assume that Bizzardo and Brash will be the best in the pen, but hopefully Gabe and Ferrer will be 3 and 4 in the pen as well as lefties. We're going to need them. 0-1 pitch. And Devers out of play with that sinker. Bottom of the 6th inning. No balls and 2 strikes from Ferrer to Devers. Now, baseball is hard. But if you don't believe in yourself and you have mental, problems up here, anger issues or whatever it may be, that, it's hard to be a good player if, that's what you're thinking about all the time. And a nice punch out there by Ferrer. Nice job, Jose. That's the Jose that I want to see, not the one that's going to hit someone in the back. And then let's go to the top of the 7th inning and see who's up next for the Mariners. All right, next up for the Mariners here in the top of the 7th, 3 for 3, Brendan Donovan. And then they're going to be bringing in a couple newbies here. Ciani, obviously, coming in for Julio Rodriguez, and Dono Frio coming in for Randy Arosarena. But we still got potentially Dominic Canzone, Connor Joe, Cole Young, Victor Robles available. And then Pareda came in for Kisner, got a hit. And then Bliss came in for Rivas and got some time to play here late in the matchup. So we'll see if they end up replacing everyone before this one's over. But what a fantastic game here on a Friday night, 20-4, Mariners up by 16. And we'll be live here on the channel on Saturday and Sunday for Mariner games that have both been pushed out to the evening because of the extreme temperatures in Arizona. A little bit better than obviously playing in Peoria. The ball is carrying a lot more here. And again, Monday and Tuesday will be off. Wednesday, we'll do the Giants and Yankees, the season debut for the MLB season on Netflix. And then obviously Thursday will be the season opener, Guardians and Mariners at T-Mobile, where we end up getting the banner showed for the first time, being 2025 AL West champions. And that will definitely be an experience for all of us. First pitch to Donovan, hard hit ball into left field, line drive. And that is 1 away. And Tunez with the catch there in left field. Ciani up next. It's on, if you have MLB, the app, this game is on, the app, if you just click on the game, if you want to watch along. They've been doing about half of the games in spring training. And obviously the Mariners haven't done an update, but it sounds like there is going to be a channel if you have Xfinity or you have a cable or satellite that you will be able to watch the Mariners. If you have a satellite or a cable box in a particular room, you don't necessarily have to buy, the MLB TV, package that's $20 a month or $100 for the season. So again, they're not really, giving the information yet. But again, as we get closer to the regular season, there should be an update. 0-2 pitch to Siani, high and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Saborowski to Siani. So 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees, 2 balls and 2 strikes from Saborowski to Siani. And then if you have T-Mobile, they'll give you the MLB, package for free. But I imagine the Mariners will be blocked and blacked out like they were last season, even though they were on Root Sports. So it's either paying $20 a month, $100 for the season, or depending on, if you have cable or satellite, you may be able to just not have to pay at all, and you'll be able to watch it like you did on Root Sports. It'll just be on a channel that they haven't released yet. 3-2 pitch, and Siani fouls it back into the Strauss workwear sign behind the plate. Count still full, 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. I feel it was like a little deceiving by the Mariners, acting like the only way that we could watch is if you paid the $20 a month or $100 for the season. They should have been a little bit more honest and clear, that if you still have cable and satellite, that you might be able to get it. Throw to first, and Siani is safe. But as we know, with the MLB, it's all, and just like any organization in sports, it's always about money. Nice hustle there by Siani, coming in for Julio Rodriguez and hustling to first base. Randy Arosarena, are you taking some notes? Because that's what we want to see from you, as well as hustle for ground balls into left field. Next up is Anthony Donofrio. First pitch to Donofrio. Big swing and a miss from Saborowski to Donofrio. 0-1 count. Dominic Canzone on deck. The Italian Stallion, baby. 0-1 pitch. Hard hit ball towards first base and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes from Saborowski to Donofrio. That is strike 3. And again, if you want to be able to watch the Mariners, on your cell phone, and you want to be able to go places, run errands and watch, then you're going to have to get, the package. But if you're only watching in one room, bedroom or living room, and you have a satellite or Xfinity, there should be a channel that they're going to release that'll be like Root Sports. But again, if you're going to be watching it in other rooms that don't have, a cable box or whatnot, and you want to be able to watch it on your phone, then you're going to probably have to get the package. So yeah, I'm going to miss Root too. 1-0 pitch. And again, I have Xfinity in the living room, but I don't have a cable box in here. So if I'm going to watch it, on my Apple, computer or on my phone while I call the game, the only way to do that is to get the package. So even though, I don't know if the cable package that I have is going to give me, the Mariners channel, or if they're going to suck more money out of me and try to make me pay more, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just, do the Mariners TV $20 a month, or and then go that route. So 2-1 pitch to Dominic Canzone, and Canzone, hard hit ball into left field, and that is out number 3. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning and see who's up next here for the Guardians. Okay, so for your package you had to pay more. I'm going to miss Root. There's no doubt about it. And there's about 6 or 7 teams that are run through the MLB, and the Mariners are obviously one of the new ones. They already had the Padres and a few other teams that are doing this as well. I believe the Cardinals for Sarah also. But It would have been nicer if it was cheaper, 10 a month, 13 a month would have been nicer, but, they know people are going to pay and whatnot. So, and I guess the only other option that you have, is if you do a streaming link, but then you're not guaranteed that that link will stay good throughout the whole stream. And on top of that, you're going to be like 15 to 30 seconds behind. And for some people, that's fine. For people like me, I can't be, 30 seconds to a minute behind because that could be a couple batters and whatnot. So, I got to make sure that I'm watching everything live. But for a casual watcher or for someone, that doesn't have needs like myself, watching it on a streaming link may work for some. But, for a lot of us, we want to be able to watch exactly live on what's happening when it happens. So, Michael in the building, what's good? Spring training has been, obviously challenging for the Mariners because 90% of our players were in the WBC. But obviously this is a second game. With the Mariners having potentially almost everyone back, about 90% of the starting lineup except for Cal and Naylor, and we put up 20 runs today. So I would say things are going very, very well at the moment, and we're only 6 days away from the season opener against the same team at T-Mobile. Next up for the Guardians, 1 for 3 in the 4-hole, DHing Chase DeLauder. And then they're going to bring in De La Cruz for Rhys Hoskins. And then we'll see who comes in after that as well. Will Wilson coming in at third base. Legomina is coming in now for Ferrer. And we know we've had a up and down relationship with Casey Legomina. Just like with Carlos Vargas. First pitch from Legomina to DeLauder. Outside, high and away, 1-0 count. Casey Legomina on the mound. Chase DeLauder in the box. 2-0 pitch. Low and at the knees. I don't think anybody's surprised there. 3 balls and no strikes from Legomina to DeLauder. And, anytime you end up having a shaky pitcher, for them to come in and be shaky and to walk a guy or to, pitch kind of poorly is kind of a given. 3-0 pitch, hard hit ball, four-seam fastball out of play. 93-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball by Casey Legomina. And again, I don't got a lot of confidence in him or Carlos Vargas, but we can pray and hope that they get better this year. 3 balls, 1 strike to Chase DeLauder. 3-1 pitch, high and away, and a 5-pitch walk for Casey Legomina. Yeah, I mean, with everything going on in training as well as, NFL news, I didn't do one either. I don't know. College, I think basketball in general, obviously is kind of going on a downward slope. March Madness is the best thing for college hoops, and obviously a lot of people still do that. De La Cruz with a hard hit ball into left field. And now we got runners. Oh, and we got him. Oh, he dropped it. Damn it. He would have been out. God damn it, Ryan Bliss. You could have got it, and he dropped the ball. And that's why you're not going to start. Now we got runners at second and third with no outs. Nice job there by De La Cruz. But, anyone that's watching the tourney, congratulations. If you enjoy, the tourney, it's the best part of the year for college hoops. But, the NBA and college hoops are definitely not what they used to be. I'll just keep it at that. But I think the tournament is more exciting than what the NBA's got going until we get to the NBA, West and Eastern Conference Finals and then the NBA Finals. And even when it gets to that point, sometimes college hoops is even better. So a lot of injuries. First pitch from Legomina to Jose Martinez. Or I believe that's him. Pitch is low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Legomina to Martinez. Hard hit ball up the middle. Throw to first. Runner comes home and they get 1. Abreu scores. Now it's 20-5 Mariners. And again, it's kind of hard to do a bracket with accuracy if you're not watching a lot of the games during the regular season. And everyone knows a 12 is going to beat a 5. There's certain common knowledge that there's going to be certain upsets, and you know where to look if you've been doing this for years and years and years. So, and history repeats itself. A 12 is always going to beat a 5. Sometimes you get two 12s that beat a 5. But we'll see how it all ends up with March Madness as the tournament carries on. 0-1 pitch to Peebles from Legomina. High and away with a four-seam fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Casey Legomina to Peebles. One pitch. Big swing and a miss by Peebles. 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 7th. I saw that Kentucky comeback. That was kind of exciting. But basketball really just doesn't really do it for me anymore. 2-1 pitch. Hard hit ball. And out of play. I mean, I wish I still had the same, enthusiasm for, the NBA, basketball, or even wrestling for that matter. But again, it's like if a product, starts to get worse and worse, it's hard to be able to support and root for something that isn't up to par, based on what you were, used to watching. 2-2 pitch, hard hit ball towards third base. It's bobbled, and a toe tap on the bag, and that is 2 away. And Connor Joe fumbled the bag there, but at least was able to get that second out. Another run comes in, and now it's 20-6 Mariners. But I guess baseball and football will always be king with me. Big swing and a miss. And Tunez, 0-1 count. Sweeper, 78 miles an hour there by Casey Legomina. Bottom of the 7th, 20-6. Mariners up by 14. 0-1 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Legomina to Antunes. Sarah and Reflect, you got predictions on who's going to win it all? And Antunes with a hard hit ball deep into right field. Back, and it's out of here. And Casey Legomina giving up runs just like he did last year. It's like Carlos Vargas all over again. Five home runs for Seattle, 3 by Cleveland, and now it's 20-7. Next up is Louise. Sweeper in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Yeah, well, not only that, Dank, is that, the talent isn't the same as it was in the 80s and 90s, but for the players that they do have that could have played, in that era, a lot of them are getting hurt this year. So big swing and a miss, and Legomina finally gets out of the inning. But again, when you're getting guys that are the top guys, whether it's like SGA or Wemby, or Luka or any of these guys, and they end up missing, a good amount of time, it's not worth watching. Sometimes it's not even worth watching when they are playing. And then when they're injured, it's not worth watching. And they promote all these games on ESPN and Prime and, these different networks, ABC. And I had to do some of those games in February. And again, some of them were fun, to watch. But again, once you start getting a superstar here, superstar there hurt, it's almost unwatchable, if I'm really being honest. Some games are watchable, but there's some NBA games that are fucking unwatchable. There's just, it's like you're almost forcing yourself to get through the game and whatnot. So, and I don't think it's ever going to get better. Like baseball's got better ratings than basketball. Hockey, obviously may not be as popular as basketball, but it's making some grounds, and it just feels like it's going to be, a baseball, football, type of vibe, for a majority of people. And then if you're into the NHL, if you're into the NBA or college hoops or wrestling or NASCAR, that's a niche market. You're going to have a certain group of people that are going to love it, and then you're going to have a certain group of people that just don't give a shit about it. So. You like Arizona? You got Michigan, Michigan State. And watch some UW ball. Good. Let's go to the top of the 8th inning. Who's standing out for UW basketball? Who do you like on the team? Is there a specific player that you like on the team, even though they may not be, obviously doing as much as you like? I mean, it's like the Oregon Duck basketball team where we talked a few weeks back. I've never seen them be in last place in anything, and I haven't looked at the standings in a few days, but, sometimes, when you end up going to a different conference, from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten, then if you aren't on your game, then things happen. First pitch to Connor Joe, takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. But I'll tell you what, I'm just really excited that we're getting close to baseball season because, I love baseball and football the most. And that takes up a majority of what we do on the channel, besides maybe about a month and a half where we're forced, to either do hockey or NBA. And when the Olympics happened, I couldn't do Kraken. So that kind of stunk as well. So, it's hard to be able to gain ground, doing something that people really don't enjoy, overall. I feel like the people that usually watch the NBA are people that bet. They actually don't have joy for the NBA and basketball. They're just trying to win bets. That's kind of my perception, based on when I was doing games, on the channel. But it just feels like no one cares, about the outcome. They just want to win money, for their games. And I feel that's very true. And Connor Joe with a nice hit into right field. And I feel with like football and baseball, there's a lot of bettors there, but they actually enjoy what they're watching. For basketball, it's just like, they're hoping that they win their parlay and they could give two shits on who ends up winning the game. All right, Sanchez is in the box now for Cole Young. Cody Hoorer on the mound for the Guardians. And Sanchez hits that one towards third base and out of play, 0-1 count. Boozers Twins play for Duke. Oh, 1 pitch. In there for a strike with the four-seam fastball. No balls and 2 strikes from Howard to Sanchez. Yeah, still spring training until we get to Thursday, but we only have a few games left. So obviously we want to be able to see how everyone looks, and Sanchez gets beamed in the leg. Connor Joe moves to second, and Sanchez to first. Next up is Victor Robles, who's 3 for 5 with a run and 4 RBIs, a K, and a 3-run blast early in the game. But I'll be live tomorrow and on Sunday for Mariners. They'll be televised on the MLB app. Monday and Tuesday will be off. And Wednesday we'll do the Giants and Yankees on Netflix, the MLB opener. Only 1 game on Wednesday. And then Thursday we'll be doing Guardians and Mariners at T-Mobile. Hard hit ball by Robles into right field. And there we go. Bases loaded for the Mariners here with no outs. Nice job by Victor Robles. 4 RBIs by Robles and 4 hits for him as well. 4 for 6 day. Beautiful. Next up, 5th string catcher, Johnny Pereda. And he ended up getting a hit at his first at-bat, 1 for 1. First pitch to Pereda, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 0-1 pitch, low and away with the changeup by Hoorer. 1 ball and 1 strike to Johnny Pareda. Come on, Johnny. Kerr on the mound, Johnny Pareda in the box. And again, we got Cal Raleigh, Andrew Kisner, Mitch Garver, Brian O'Keefe, and Johnny Pareda. But obviously some of these guys will be, on different teams or in the farm system, and I don't know if we'll keep 3 catchers or only 2, but right now, obviously Cal is a starter, and then we'll have to figure out if they like Kisner more than Garver or Garver more than Kisner. But obviously O'Keefe and Pareda aren't good enough to be on the roster. 1-2 pitch to Johnny Pareda. Check swing, and down he goes. And that is 1 away. Next up is Ryan Bliss. First pitch by Bliss fouled off. 0-1 count. Come on, Ryan. Hoyer on the mound, Bliss in the box. 0-1 pitch, almost hits Bliss on the knee. Has to dance out of the way. 1 ball and 1 strike with bases loaded and 1 out. A good opportunity for Bliss to be able to get an RBI here. Agreed, Reflect, agreed. Big swing and a miss on that 1-1 pitch. Slider gets away from Bliss. He got confused on that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 1 out. Mariners up by 13 runs, up 20-7 here in the top of the 8th. Yeah, Colt Emerson looks good. Cole Young looks good. A lot of the players are starting to come into their own, and big swing and a miss by Bliss, and that is 2 away. But Emerson and Young look good in spring training. I liked what I saw out of Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan as well. They'll be on the team at some point. And again, now getting all our players back from the WBC. Now it's just about getting chemistry and continuity. And again, scoring 20 runs against an opponent you're going to play in 6 days. That's how you do it. First pitch there by Will Wilson, crushed into right field. Nice souvenir for that fan out there. 0-1 count. Big swing and a miss there by Wilson. No balls and 2 strikes from Hoyer to Wilson. Oh-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Will Wilson, and we leave bases loaded, stranded. Hey, but it's okay. We put up 20 runs today, and obviously a lot of these guys are backups, so it happens. Go to the bottom of the 8th inning and see if the Guardians can get a few more runs before this one is over. Next up is Fox, Howe, and Devers. I need to go grab a quick water. I will be right back. And typically in these last couple innings, usually there's mass substitutions. Oh, Carlos Vargas is coming in. Hold your breath. See if Carlos will do good here or not. Obviously, we saw Legomina come in and he kind of shit the bed. But let's see if Vargas is any better than he was last year. And, a couple of the games that I've done on the channel and games that I also have just watched, he has been very hit or miss. So, yeah, if he can find some control with that top end speed, he could be super dangerous, and he could end up climbing the ladder in the pen. But, it's like we got Bizzardo, we got Brash, we got Spire, we got Ferrer, and we got Vargas. But, hopefully we get the good version. First pitch, high and away with a cutter. But for me, it's like he just throws as hard as he can, but he just never can hit spots, And then if you throw down the middle, he ends up being a home run or a big RBI a lot of times. So 1-0 pitch, fouled off, high and away with that sinker. But like you said, if he can find some control, with those pitches that are, 97 to 100 miles an hour, he could actually be an asset for the team, not a liability. 1-1 pitch. And he'll get us a couple saves. He will, win some games for us. There's no doubt about it. I mean, even though he's wild, I like him more than Legomina. And Legomina is definitely unreliable as well. But Vargas actually gives you confidence that even though he fucks up a lot, he will do good once in a while. Legomina doesn't do really good at all. So I guess that's the difference. 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball, line drive, good defense there by the Mariners, and that is 1 away. Down goes Fox. He did. And obviously, if we can get the good Gabe Spire, the good Jose Ferrer, and a good Carlos Vargas on top of a great, Brash and Bizzardo, that could be the difference between us, beating the Blue Jays and the ALCS again or not. We need to make sure that we have, quality pieces that are getting better and better, in the pen. And, guys on the back end of the pen, again, are just as important as the front end guys. First pitch to Howe is low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, sinker with nice velocity there from Carlos Vargas. 1 ball and 1 strike from Vargas to Howe. And again, like Bizzardo, he was one of the worst in the pen, with Taylor Saucedo, and then he turned into the best. So anything is possible. Little dribbler to Vargas, throws to first, and that is 2 away. I agree with that. I think ABS will help him more than any bullpen pitcher, especially when he's got that top end, high end velocity. And he, sometimes has pitches that are borderline. And a lot of times they were just called balls, even though they were strikes, just because of the reputation of being kind of wild. And again, I think the ABS, I agree with you. I think that will help him. I mean, there are going to be games that he's absolutely terrible, but I think there are going to be some games that he is lights out, for a half inning. And maybe 2 innings if they need him. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss with that slider. And I think that's going to be a key pitch for him. The 4-seam fastball, 97 to 99, but he's got to have a slower pitch, an off-speed 85 to 90 mile an hour slider or, something of that nature to kind of, trick the hitters. And I think to give him a little bit more control so he's not trying to throw his arm out of the socket. 1-1 pitch, another sinker there with a strike looking. 1-2 pitch, and there we go. Like that particular at-bat was perfect. Started off with a ball and then started to find the zone and, not throwing 99 on every pitch, going with a fast pitch, off speed, fast pitch, off speed, and being able to find that rhythm. And if Cal can coach him, in the 4-speed and then slider, 4-speed slider, instead of just going 4-seam fastball and 4 pitches and getting rocked, that could really be a difference for us moving forward. Let's go to the top of the 9th inning and see who's up next. We got Ciani, Donofrio, and Dominic Canzone. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Shout out to Vapor, Reflect, and Sarah for really helping out here today. And, hopefully we'll be able to get some good support for the Paisley Pup Veterinary Fund, as well as other things that need to be taken care of. And again, I might throw a few of my prized possessions on eBay, to help out with the veterinary fund, and, just to being able to kind of feel a little bit more comfortable financially. I don't really want to do it, but, I do have some nice items that I know that people would probably scoop up. And, the Aaron Judge auto rookie probably will stay in my collection and whatnot. But, I got a Brian Wu autograph rookie that's graded, Cal Raleigh rookie auto, couple graded Julio autograph rookies from 2019. Some of his first cards that have been autoed and graded. I got an Ichiro Suzuki WBC autograph photo through PSA. Everything is, authenticated. A few pieces of clothing, as well, that jerseys and whatnot. So, don't really know what I want to put up there, but depending on how things go in the next 2 weeks, that'll determine what I put on there. And if I do, everyone will know on the stream what my handle is on eBay, and hopefully we'll be able to get a few people to help out with that as well. First pitch to Sammy Ciani. Curveball. 0-1 count. Take care, Sarah. All right, take care, Reflect. I'll be live tomorrow on the channel as well as Sunday. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sammy Ciani. Top of the 9th inning, Mariners up by 13, 20-7. But appreciate the two of you as well as Vapor. You guys are the true MVPs. Little grounder, flip to first, and that is 1 away. Appreciate you. Next up is Donofrio for Seattle. First pitch to Donofrio. In there for a strike with the changeup, 0-1 count. Anthony Donofrio 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the 7th. 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike. What a crazy sidearm delivery by Shulecki. Schulke. 0-2 pitch from Schulke with the sidearm. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Donofrio on 3 pitches. And that is 2 away. I like seeing people that do the sidearm. I like seeing people that do like the knuckleball. Something that's a little bit different, and especially when you get someone that does the sidearm. If they're able to hit the strike zone, they can be really deadly. Next up is Dominic Canzone, one of the last starters that is still in the game, the Italian Stallion. Has a grand salami early in the game. He's batting 3 for 6 today. 3 runs, 5 RBIs. First pitch with the changeup. Low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Grand slam and 2 singles by Dominic Canzone. 1-0 pitch, changeup right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. One pitch, low and away with the curveball. 2 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. Come on, Dom. 2-1 pitch to Canzone. Hard hit ball. And another base knock into right field. The Italian Stallion is amazing. Nice job by Dom. Two down with a runner at first. Carter Derigi in the game. First pitch to Derigi, takes a strike. Curveball right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch with the curveball. Did he go around? And he does not. 1 ball and 1 strike from Schulke to Derigi. One pitch, big swing and a miss from Derigi. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the 9th inning, Mariners up by 13, 20-7. And that is strike 3 looking. Down goes Derigi, and next up for the Guardians here, last opportunity for them for Abreu, De La Cruz, and Martinez. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. $85 subs away from 23,500. We're 150 on the dono train today, which is absolutely fantastic to go towards the Paisley Pup Vet Fund. Reflect, Sarah, as well as Vapor. Appreciate the 3 of you very, very much. All right, we're down to the last half inning of this Mariner game. Man, what an outstanding game. Carlos Vargas still staying in here late. Abreu, De La Cruz, and Martinez, the last 3 batters. And we know Vargas can be a little wild, so we'll see if they can end up getting a few runs here late or if we'll be able to get 3 quick outs and end this game. Angel Abreu in the box. Carlos Vargas on the mound. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes from Vargas to Abreu. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking there with the sinker. 2 balls and 1 strike from Vargas to Abreu. Bottom of the 9th inning, Mariners up 20-7. And this has been one of the best spring training games in Mariner history. Absolutely phenomenal game against a team that we're going to be playing on opening day in 6 days. You couldn't ask for a better outcome. Big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 9th inning, 20-7. Mariners up by 13. Vargas on the mound. Abreu in the box. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards third base with the laser, and it is foul. 20 runs, 26 hits. Incredible. 2-2 pitch, check swing. Did he go? And he did not. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Mariners up 20-7, 13-run lead. Vargas on the mound. Abreu in the box. Come on, Vargas. I know you're wild as hell, but try to get this punch out. 3-2 pitch. Low and away, and it ends up being a walk. Not surprised. Come on, Vargas. All right, next up is De La Cruz. Come on, Vargas. Lock in. First pitch is high and away. Sinker outside, 1-0 count. Vargas on the mound for Seattle. De La Cruz, Luis De La Cruz, not Ellie De La Cruz, in the box. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss by De La Cruz. Cutter, 95 miles an hour. That's what I like to see. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and no outs. Maybe we can get a slow dribbler up the middle for a double play to get us closer to finishing this game. 1-1 pitch. Right down the middle for a strike. Beautiful pitch there from Vargas. We don't say that often. Cutter, 93 miles an hour on the line. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. Mariners up 20-7 here in the bottom of the 9th. 1-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. Almost hits him. Nice save there by Johnny Pareda, 5th string catcher for Seattle. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 2-2 pitch. Hit behind the plate, hitting that Strauss workwear sign. Count still 2 balls, 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. Come on, Vargas, finish strong. Two pitch, high and away. Sinker, 97 miles an hour. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes from Vargas to De La Cruz. Three-two pitch. Big swing and a miss, and a nice punch out there by Vargas. There we go. Nice job by Carlos getting a little bit of electricity here late on De La Cruz, and that is 1 away. All right, looks like De La Cruz's night is over, and they're going to bring in one last pitcher to end this game. I'm curious to see who they bring in. Yeah, definitely a Seahawk, a Cleveland Brown type of score in this game. Absolutely. And we'll be live tomorrow, and we're playing the Cubs tomorrow at 6:10 Pacific, and it will be televised on MLB TV if you have the app. So can't wait to be able to see what Chicago, brings to the table. And I assume it will be a closer game than this, but you never know. And I'm hoping that we can end up finishing strong in these last few games, and making a statement as we go into the regular season on Thursday. And, I've been praying, and now the regular season is actually, at reach. It's just right on the edge of the fingertips. And again, I'm really excited to be able to do, Mariner baseball pretty much every day for a good 4, 5, 6 months until we get to the NFL and college football season. And again, it's going to be a fantastic year for all us Seattle fans. It looks like Alford is coming in for the last duty here for the Mariners. Peyton Alford coming in. First pitch from Peyton Alford to Martinez in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Come on, Peyton. 0-1 pitch. High and away. Slider missing there. 1 ball and 1 strike from Peyton Alford. Everett Aqua Sox gem there against Martinez. Big swing and a miss on a 4-seam fastball by Peyton Alford. Beautiful. 92 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Alford to Martinez. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Alford to Martinez. Two-two pitch, high and away from Peyton Alford to Martinez. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 9th with a runner at first and 1 out. See if we can get a slow dribbler up the middle for a double play to end the game. Would be great. Pitch is high and away, and that ends up being a walk for Peyton Alford. Come on, Peyton. Martinez was walked. Abreu to second. Next up is Peebles for Cleveland. First pitch from Alford to Peebles. Low and at the knees. Peebles is 0 for 1 with an RBI so far today. Kind of coming in late in the game as a lot of the starters got their reps in. 1-0 pitch. Hard hit ball. And out of play. I love the way that the bat sounds on this broadcast here in Arizona. Again, you know, when the games are in Peoria, it has a different type of sound with the ball on the bat. But here, man, it seems like every big swing is like a home run derby swing. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Alford to Peebles. Bottom of the 9th inning, Mariners up by 13, 20-7, and one of the most entertaining spring training games Mariners have had ever in their team history. 2-1 pitch, hard hit ball towards third base. Long throw to first, not in time. And runner home after the shitty throw, and another run scores, 20-8. Mariners out now by 12. Come on, Mariners, finish this. And we'll be live tomorrow at 6 o'clock Pacific for the Cubs and the Mariners here on the channel. They haven't updated the score yet, but it is 20-8 Mariners. Runners at first and third with 1 out. First pitch is high and tight inside to Antunes. 1-0 count. Come on, Mariners, finish. I don't care who it is, and if it's a backup to a backup to a backup. Finish strong. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss with that slider by Peyton Alford. 1 ball and 1 strike from Alford to Antunes. Come on, Seattle. Trident's up. 1-1 pitch. Hard hit ball behind the plate and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Peyton Alford to Antunes. Definitely one of the more enjoyable games that we've had in spring training, considering we had 90% of our roster in the WBC. 9-17-1 record with a lot of those guys gone, but we have been able to get a few dubs since the WBC ended, so that's always a good thing to see, to have some chemistry and continuity with your starters going into the regular season for at least a couple games. Pitch fouled off by Antunes. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners on the corners at first and third and 1 out. Will the Guardians get to 10? 1-2 pitch, and that is strike 3. And that is 2 away. Nice punch out there by Peyton Alford. Way to bring the electricity. All right, we're 1 out away from victory here. Andrea in the building. What's good? How are you? Man, this game has been crazy. And we play the Cubs tomorrow, and I'll be live on the channel for that as well as Sunday's matchup, I believe, against the White Sox. So both Chicago teams tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Monday and Tuesday off. Wednesday, we'll do the Yankees and the Giants for the season opener on Netflix. Only game on MLB. And then Thursday is the magical day. Guardians and Mariners at T-Mobile for the season opener. So we're just on the cusp of getting there. Hopefully you're having a good day, Andrea. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at second and third and 2 outs. Yeah, it's always nice when you get to kick another team's ass instead of you're the team that's getting their ass kicked. in a number of those games when we had all our players in the WBC. For a 2-week stretch, it was miserable, where we just couldn't even get a hit or a run. Today, a little bit different. Four-seam fastball, high and away. 92 miles an hour there by Peyton Alford. 3 balls and 1 strike from Alford to Luis. I can only take so many losses in a row before it starts really affecting my mental health. 3-1 pitch. In there for a strike as Luis was making his walk to first base. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. It's 20-8. Let's get this fucking strikeout here and end this game. Yeah, but it also helps that we got 90% of the roster back since the WBC ended. So that was the reason why we lost so many games. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and that is the ball game. There we go. Final score, Seattle Mariners 20, Cleveland Guardians 8. I will be live tomorrow at 6 o'clock Pacific for the Cubs and the Mariners. Shout out to Vapor, Reflect, and Sarah to help us get to 150 on the Dono train today. And shout out to all the regulars like Marine Bean and Andrea that are still here at the very end. Love you guys as well. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Final score, Mariners 20, Guardians 8. Tridents up, and I am out. Okay.